Hey guys, welcome back in. Yeah, 2 hours left on a pretty red Monday, coming off of what was a positive week right across the board for U.S. stocks. We're back to the downside, giving back a little bit, but remember, it was a huge week last week. So worth a mention that individual names putting in, Tesla 33% to the upside, back down 4% today. Not that bad. Here's a look at how things are shaping up. Overall, 0.92 right now for the S&P 500, about 0.4 for the Dow. It is the NASDAQ leading 1.7. Back to the downside a little bit here this afternoon. 0.32, we're chopping around basically at session lows currently. It's worth noting, crude oil as well, 1.76 to the downside. It's been a choppy day so far for cryptocurrencies, continues to be that way. Not a heck of a lot to see as far as action so far in crypto land. 0.9 for the S&P 500, as I mentioned. It's been about tech all day long, continues to be that way. Ahead of what is to come after the close tomorrow with AMD next up as far as the chip makers are concerned for earnings names. NVIDIA actually leading right now, 4.6% to the downside versus 3.14. Micron, 3% as well. First Solar here, some of the clean energy names. Those had huge weeks last week. It's worth noting. Enphase is positive on the day. That's the green one you see there, 2% for ENPH within the semiconductor group. All basically of the hardware equipment makers are also in negative territory, including there's Apple. 1.8% for Apple today, back to the downside. Earnings later in the week. Adobe, I just see there 1.8%. Software names also a drag so far. Healthcare stocks have been under pressure all day. Moderna downside 3.7%. There's GE Healthcare. Didn't get to that in the pre-market. We should have a look at it now. GE Healthcare reported this morning. There was a ton of analyst moves on it as well. I saw come through 3.8% upside. That recent spin-off, if you missed it, for GE itself, 3.8%. Not a bad day. This one coming back in a little bit, CINF. That was the only earnings name in the insurance group. Everything else, so kind of choppy back and forth. Individual banks are weak. The diversified group back to the upside. There's GE. Speaking of GE downside, GE Healthcare. Back higher. Energy, very weak as we saw oil back at session lows essentially on that OPEC comment this morning about demand and what they're going to do at their February 1st meeting coming up on Wednesday. I point out Warner Brothers there because there was a negative note this morning on WBD, down about 3%. So has been a pretty red day right across the board as we kick off what is going to be a monster week with the Fed coming on Wednesday, with all of the rest of the mega cap tech names reporting. As I mentioned, AMD after the close tomorrow. We get Snap this week. We get McDonald's this week, UPS. We get Neil practicing his jump shot. I guess that wasn't a jump shot. It was more just a free throw. Hey, 2 o'clock. Let's get going. We'll jump back into what we were talking about this morning in the first hour. If you were with us, we talked about a whole bunch of opportunities available for you, of which Neil is going to discuss one of them right now.
Trader Day brought to you by Day Trade. The world is going to be Carvana, and this was a flyer today, but we saw the explosive moves on Lucid and just about anything that had a short interest on Friday. Today it's going to be Carvana. You're going to see it up about 20%, but this stock, look at the daily chart, man. You've been absolutely crushed from 24 all the way down to like $3. You start forming a bit of a base, and this is where I'm focused on. You already had the move on Friday that got you to $8. You got $9, and then this level right in here just beneath $9. It's like an $8.75 to $9 area that was primed to break out. So if you're going to take a breakout trade, I always prefer dip buys, get yourself a better price. But if you're going to take a breakout trade, make sure it is at a key level, one where there is confirmation on the higher time frame. That's why I went to the daily chart. You're going to see it was a pretty clean break when it took out the high here. Now, a couple of things. Everyone talks about averaging down. Oh, stock's going down. Buy more, get yourself a better price. Sometimes you got to be willing to ride a move higher and think about buying even higher. Now, if I think a move off a $9 level, realistically, you've got $10 in here, you've got $12, and those are the two things I'm keeping in mind. It's like, I think 9 to 10, I think if it extends and gets past 10, it can go to $12 there. So that's what I'm working with. So when we first scalp some out there to the first quarter, I'm actually adding to it when it consolidates and breaks back out again. Scalp some out, hold all the way to $10. That's the first leg. Looking for that 9 to 10 push, adding on the way up, everything looking absolutely fine. Now here's where the second part of the trade comes in. Now whether or not it works, if I think there's room from 10 into 12, I want to try and structure a second trade off of those levels. There's your consolidation break off the 10 level. I end up scalping some out. I'm reloading inside, and it fails 10. I'm not fighting it beneath that level, but this I'm willing to risk about 30, 40 pennies because I think we got 3 or 4x to the upside. So in this case, I'm willing to buy almost all the way up when it's holding those key price levels, adding, not averaging down, averaging up. Get more when it is looking good and try to hold for the bigger move on that higher time frame. That's why Carvana is your trade of the day, as always. Brought to you by Day Trade the World.
And a good one back to the downside right now for the overall market, along with CVNA a little bit, 1.5%. I was just watching oil as well, just popped up there on a volume scanner. That's the link to the watch list, guys, if you haven't done so. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's super easy. It's free. That's the best part. No cost to you whatsoever. Hit that link, enter your email address. Check out what we are looking at on a daily basis. Thanks, Fahad. GEHC, 3.9%. Just mentioning there off of earnings. Gave you the initial move, I guess, to the upside back to 73, but otherwise it has been pretty quiet after a beat for GE Healthcare this morning in the pre-market with earnings. We were discussing all of these EV stocks that went crazy on Friday this morning, if you were with us. Lucid, Rivian, Fisker. Pick one, really. I mean, even that little Go EV had a huge day on Friday, coming off this note about Lucid specifically. Lucid, guys, ends up being a bit of a chop fest, really. We go sideways all throughout the midday. I mean, some of the other ones were a little bit easier out of the gate, I think, as well. So one of those types of ideas where you had to kind of pick and choose your spot.
Yo, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we're ready to go one more time here today as I can't stop trading, so we have over 100 and something fills here today as we go. I think we got a good Amazon trade on right now. And yeah, we just got stopped out of Lucid not too long ago. Lucid's still a positive stock for us today, obviously, but we did not screw it up, but we did have 2 trades early on this name. And the first one, again, we wanted the long at 12. We waited pretty patiently as we open up north of 13. Comes all the way in like a rock, basically. Just drops straight to the downside. Here we start at 12.20, then at 12. Take our big position at 12.05, I think it was. And then when it dropped down, we got out at 11.90 and was like, womp, womp. There it is. Nice downside move. And by the way, I just said we got a nice short on Amazon. Look what just happened to Amazon right now as that just went bang to the downside, and we take another fill right there on Amazon. So we're short out only at 23 against this 50. We need a little bit more than that. We're waiting in the teens. But Lucid, just to go over that one more time here, as I said, I can't stop trading. So we get out there, but then it comes back and then ripped it up to the upside, turning us positive. Like when your hits are 20, 30 cents and then you can take it back, it's good. Came back to 12 again, reloaded it, back up to 50, got out, came back, reloaded, out. But then see, it never really got going. Now we were pretty lucky to get some out at 10, and we're long at like 90s here, 95, 10s, 14s, again 21s. Then it came back and guess what? We did it all over again. As a trader, this is what you're supposed to do. So I'm fine with it. We get in it again, we give it another 10 cents, and see you later. As they say, alligator down to the downside right now, back up to 11.70. So what was a wild day there on Friday does not really get repeated today. Although if you traded in the pre-market and you had some good short ideas there, you could have had a great little short back in. So right now we'll watch that for Lucid. Look, I think you want to buy this name. I'm even comfortable buying it now. I'm not, but I think like if you're swinging, you might want to do this now. I mean, we know how much money that Saudi fund has. I think Sharif said earlier this morning, 600 with a B that they have at their access. So we'll see. Lucid's market cap is, oh, this is Snapchat. We're checking Snapchat tomorrow night, by the way, for Snapchat. So that's something to watch out too. Shout out to my good friends at Trade Ideas here. The market cap is only 20 billion for all of Lucid at this price. So they could simply, hey Rob, they could simply just ramp this bid up, take these guys private, and you wouldn't even hear about them again. So, we'll wait to see if that does happen, but not a huge market cap for Lucid. Wouldn't be surprised if it does get taken over at some point. And in case you were wondering, that was Rob coming through with what looks to be a new computer. New
it's
computer.
fancy.
So there you go. Some of those super chats going to good work here. I guess who is that for? It is for the professor.
Oh,
There he is
okay.
working on it. Yeah, whatever, Rob.
He's
you lost
saying a
me.
bunch of, like, tech
some
stuff in
i7,
my
yada,
ear.
yada, yada, blah, blah,
I don't
blah.
know,
But for
man.
right now, it's probably better than our computers, right, Rob?
I don't understand why Sharif gets a better computer than us, but that's give the professor what he needs, apparently.
Literally makes no sense.
It actually quite literally doesn't make any sense, but that's fine. We're okay with it. I did have a very quick short in Lucid when it broke that bottom at 1180, but on the way back up, because it's almost right back here, so that 12 does hold, I'm actually looking at Rivian as a short opportunity. So if this gets higher, down 7% on Lucid, down 7.5 on Rivian, and this has been, so look, Lucid had some news on it. Rivian was a sympathy play all the way, and it comes all the way back, bounces off of Friday's support levels. Well, that same area of resistance, 1865 into 1875, on pops, I want to short 1850, then I want to short up in front of 1875. So I'm going to go with this one for the fade play here on Rivian, just getting absolutely smacked down, but that's to be expected.
It's a smackdown.
If it follows Lucid up, it follows Lucid back down.
Was it Royal Rumble, by the way? Did I miss the Royal Rumble? Because
You tell me. You're the one that's supposed to know these things.
Logan Paul did like the sickest move in WWE history.
Somebody,
Like honestly, these Paul guys are
Send me
like,
the clip. Somebody send me the clip.
revolutionizing sports entertainment. Honestly, boxing and now this and then what?
Well,
now
what did
Jake
he-
Paul's going to go over and save MMA.
What did he do?
He went off. It was. I'll find it.
Okay,
Let's go.
somebody's finding me that clip.
I'm finding it right now.
All right,
go
find me
over
that
to
clip.
Brendan. Yo, go to Brendan.
Right. I think he was looking for it too. Fawad was. Let's look at crypto here real quick because this is happening right now. Bitcoin, Ethereum, both making a decent sized move to the downside right now. If you zoom out a little bit, I mean, overall, not that bad. We're just coming back into some support areas, but notable downtick here, guys, for some of the crypto markets at the moment. Not seeing any headlines on that, though. Let's talk about some of these chips. We get AMD aftermarket tomorrow. Susquehanna out this morning going to a buy, raising their price target as well on AMD. All of these being mentioned, though, in this note this morning ahead of what's to come on Wednesday. Make sure you're with us this time, Wednesday. We'll talk about what's happening with Uncle Powell and what he has to say about how the economy is doing.
Like I have a monster winner
Let's
on
start with this
Amazon
one.
right now, and I don't even. Whatever.
wanna
We'll
see
deal
this.
with that. I deal with these winners every day. Okay, here we go. Come over to the screen, big guy. All right, so here we go. So this is it right now. So this is Logan Paul. Watch. This is Ricochet. Watch this move. Yeah. Stop debating it. How long until we get? Here we go. Now he's gonna hit this sick move. Watch this. Boom! The double clothesline from the top right there. So there it is right there.
That's
so I don't know if
legit.
we're gonna watch that. Thank you to TMZ Sports for that. If Spike, yeah, that was pretty dirty. That was amazing. So these guys, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So
Good
these-
God Almighty, he killed him.
Yeah, these guys are amazing. Yeah, he's falling off the cage, JR. Yeah, that was sick. So I missed that. So
That was filthy.
I'll have to watch that.
He's a great athlete, man.
Yeah, WWE was pretty awesome. Great athlete, yeah, needless to say.
he's a good
I mean,
athlete.
in the boxing ring with Mayweather, whether or not,
Well, I mean-
that's different. But I just mean like the show that these guys are putting on continues to be. I mean, the one guy's setting records for boxing and fought 5 matches in his career, and now this guy's soon to be I think he might be gets a belt soon.
Did he get it? Oh, okay. Well, is
he had a belt at some point. I don't
gonna
know
say,
enough
like-
about it. I don't watch wrestling, but it was really fun when we went there. So anyways, that's that. Oh, I know we're talking about AMD here. I had honestly, again, we're trying something a little different for the trade of the day. I think that just this one, just because of the way it's sort of profiled for me, could have been the trade of the day. And I just think that the Carvana is great. I mean, that's what a lot of the viewers want. And that's a great day trading stock. Carvana, Bed Bath & Beyond, when they're all moving. And NVIDIA, although it's a $200 stock, the opportunities are amazing. We just kept buying this 198 3 times, getting 2 times out here at 200, which was a pretty monstrous trade. And then once it comes back in, it breaks and we take like a 30-cent hit. But then look what we did. We just then reversed it into the short. How many times do Neil and I say, we're going to take this into the short now and never really do it? So, I mean, pretty happy that we wind up doing it here. We take the double short at 198, drops down. That's a 195. That's $3 right there on that trade. So we'll get rid of that stamp of fail. And then it just comes right back up. And I said, okay, let's do it again. fail again, take it again there, 197. So we go 198 short, then we go 197 short, and we just got it out right there at 194.50. So, I mean, you know, the amount of money, honestly, NVIDIA is like 6x the next best stock, P&L wise here today for me. So, I mean, this has just been a monster move, and it's just going to continue that way. So you know, NVIDIA today down 4.5%. I didn't even look at anything else. I want to give a big shout out to that book, One Good Trade, because honestly, man, the more that I listen to that, remember I said read before, but it's an audio book there. Thank you to my son who downloaded Audible. So I said, I'll take a book out of that.
It's great.
Because I'm paying for it. You know, so anyways.
You get the credits for free the more you go. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think we get 2 credits per month or something like that. But anyways, good trade there in NVIDIA, man. Although it's not one good trade, it's more like 4 or 5. But stay focused, stay on your trade right now. The same thing we're doing with Amazon, man. It's been a great run here for me this month, like the best. So.
Yeah, and well, the other thing to keep in mind with it, and I see rightfully in the chat there, NYSE, great name there. Look, when you have crypto moving down, especially BTC, you know when it's on the upside, NVIDIA can be strong, and certainly when it does reverse, when it's weak, NVIDIA tends to be a little more exaggerated when you have moves in crypto. You guys know where I went today. I went over to Intel. We actually took a win on it, then we took an L on it, shorting it off 28.25. However, one of the things I always say is if you get stopped out and then in the afternoon your levels come back into play, like that's the previous day's high, so looking good there. That's not a good short, but it comes back in and reclaims beneath yesterday's lows that I like, well then you just jump right back into it. So that's the chip name that I'm in. We'll see if it can't get down toward the low of the day. If the market breaks the bottom, we'll take out Intel at the bottom like we like to do when it is to the downside. However, oddly enough, Intel is not as weak as the overall market. Lots of names are, but it's really not that bad today for all intents and purposes there. But another one, which I'm still in. Let's get to some SoFi, Berendo.
Just reading through this note, guys, our friends over at Seeking Alpha just posting this on Lucid. So Lucid expected to have Saudi Arabia backing even if a full buyout does not happen. So I was just going through this. They quote a Morgan Stanley analyst. They talk a little bit about another note as well from a different analyst there, but there's not much reaction to it with the actual stock. There's a refresher selling at 12 right now. That's about all you need to know. But that just coming out for Lucid. Yeah, let's talk SoFi off of a pretty good report this morning for SoFi, beating across the board. It was the forecast, though, that was better than expected. Some of the ads as far as account openings as well, pretty positive for SoFi today. Really nice look, still hovering around day highs.
Yeah, it's actually, look, SoFi is holding up really well, up 12%, even as the market is flushing and about to break the low of the day. Came in and, look, I like to buy the dip on SoFi. Always think that when it has earnings or it has a gap up of 10%, a lot of times it does fade it out. So I was looking at that 625. We'll go start with the higher time frame to give you guys an idea here. Yeah, the 200 period at 625. You had this previous level at about 625, 630 on the daily going back to November. So the second you dip at a previous big level and hold at 7 a.m., when it comes back there at 8 a.m., going in for the long into the high of the day. So the double top of the high of the day is at 675, works 625 into 675, and then all of a sudden that top starts holding. So start going long off of this in the low 70s into the 7 level, which I'm still sitting in right now, like reloading in front of it, and then see how far it can go. Now it's running out of steam, probably because the market is having some trouble here. So if we do give up 665, I am out of this trade. But it just goes with the same thing as Carvana. If you find something relatively strong, you can buy dips on the way up while continuing the trend as opposed to sort of just getting in one time and then not working it again. If you find higher support, well, then you can go long off said higher support. It'd be great if it breaks 7 even. I'll try to hold on to some for it to go. I just feel like with the market breaking down and the NASDAQ approaching 2%, it feels a little bit unlikely. So if it pops into 7, I'll be almost out of all of it, and I'm going to have a hard stop here beneath 665. Great day for SoFi. I can't remember the last time it gapped up 10% or was up 10% at the open and managed to hold it for the majority of the day.
Yeah, SoFi didn't really come into our levels. We just did take the 38 cents on Amazon. It did bounce back now to 101 again. I just want to talk about Goldman Sachs here today. I mean, where I know SoFi, Goldman Sachs, not super equatable, but you know, Goldman today's up 1.6% and more than every bank. I mean, I'm looking for some more banks there. I looked at JP Morgan, that's down here today. But yeah, Goldman continues to make a nice move to the upside. But we just took down that 360 right here on GS, and I don't know why this is so aggressive today. Nicely done to the upside, but it is. And yeah, the daily, you know, I don't know why we're missing. It's like we're missing random data. Like when I was looking at this last week, it was completely fine. And then see, that goes NY and this stays NQ over there. So I can't even look at the 20-minute. But just wanted to have a quick look here because if we get back to 360, I think there's a trade here for Goldman Sachs. So I just wanted to look at that quickly. If anybody was looking at it, possibly a short here as the market's breaking down. And then you're looking at, and I know JP Morgan's probably not, maybe Morgan Stanley's a little bit better equate to Goldman. JP Morgan, okay, charts, let's go. Down 0.53 as well. Morgan today, 96. That seems high. Let me see, what is Morgan down today? Or is it up? Yeah, flat. So Goldman, you know, definitely leading the way here from all these banks today. So, you know, maybe short any kind of a pop there for Goldman. WFC also done nicely. But all these names are pretty much barcoding except for GS. So let's watch this one here, 361, 362. That was a nice little high there for Goldman Sachs. I just want to talk about it because I think tomorrow, if we don't get 360 today, I might want to look at that 362 for some reason there because Goldman's just up a little more than everything else. So we'll pay attention to that. Now the bank season, of course, is over on the earnings. But all right, let's go over and start talking about some more AI and how dare we say another name before AI because that means the stock is probably ripping, Brendo.
Sadly, it ended up not, but yeah, we can have a look at Baidu. I was just noticing AXP, guys, very, very strong 2 days in a row. There's a whole bunch of analyst moves on that today, but yeah, this thing absolutely cratered at the open this morning, back down to 135.5. We're back to basically session highs, 1.5%. But if you missed it this morning, Baidu late Sunday, depending on where you live, but late Sunday, early hour time comes out and says they're going to launch their own AI-powered search type database, I guess, coming in March. So that had this thing up in the pre-market at least.
You know what's hilarious? I actually keystroked Baidu at 7:30 in the morning, and that would have been like would have been my best trade if I'd hold on. But you don't hold on to something like that. It's a pre-market, and there's a big spread. But I look at Baidu. It was that 140 level. You can see 140 double top Friday. Support down here about 138.75, 139. I liked a dip. I liked an out here, and that was it. It did not hold that level at 140 at all. It ran right through all those stops, and this is why you have to have an out, because if I'm looking for the dip here to play off of this range and I'm looking for support in on a positive catalyst, well, you can say, oh, I like a 140 long. Oh, it's at 142. If you just hold it $5 against you, eventually it's in the money. I could be sitting in, oh yeah, look at that, it's a good trade, it's winning. Nah, not really, because that's trash. At the end of the day, it breaks down, take just over that dollar hit, and it would have been like 4 or 5 if you hold on to it, and that's why you got to have an out. It's as simple as that. Always have yourself a little bit of an out. This is a roundabout way of sort of saying another Chinese ADR. I don't know if you traded Alibaba there, Sean.
Nope,
but
I'm about to talk about it.
Okay, good. Good. I was going to mention NEO here. NEO broke 12 with not that much fanfare. Like I was in it very briefly for a few cent hit. It didn't really follow through. When I look at this, and maybe this will come into play tomorrow, 1180 was support there on Thursday, and the previous day was resistance. So that 1180 could just be more significant than the round dollar level, which is what I was looking at on NIO. I think 1180 is the better level to watch on NEO. I will be focused on this one for throughout the week. As long as it wants to hold there or break down, I think a break's fine. But I think there might be some scalp longs off of that 1180 on NIO. Sometimes you get locked into these round numbers, and you know that can be. It can work. I don't really mind going long 3s and 4s and risking 5 pennies, but clearly 80 was a better level, and that's the one that held.
Yeah, I just want to talk just about Alibaba quickly because we had that huge trade. Honestly, it was really a good one. It topped off the day there on Friday, which was great. If you guys were watching, it was about this time we were talking about it, but it didn't really start to fade off that 119 level basically until the end of the day. So we got some good trades there, and then it fell down. So I'm really interested in this trade again here today if we give it up at the end of the day. So if you just zoom back out a little bit, you see how we kind of of bar-coded pretty much at that top all afternoon until eventually breaking down. Well, guess what? The NASDAQ right here looks like it wants to break down, right? I think that we're on the same page with that. Whatever. I think we can get to 2% plus on this. But now you have Alibaba trying to, the thing is, today you're down 5%, so you're not really getting that bar coding action. That's 1250 there. So I just wanted to bring it up. Like, if we can start to get up to some of these highs, and I'm using, because it's not really, like, now it's starting to flatten out here a little bit, but even then, that's 12, like 112. I think we can, I don't really love that level. If anything, I believe near this 200 period, 1230, 1220, up here to 1250. Just want to keep an eye on Alibaba. So whether or not you guys do or not is up to you, but I want to keep an eye on this. Watch out for Alibaba in case it does start moving back up to the upside. I mean, a 113 is the high of the day, and that's not coming in. That would be the best, of course. But right into here, 112.50, something like that. I think if we can get a 70-cent bump up here for Alibaba, that's something that I would definitely participate in on that one. And then just because we have Tesla next and we don't have Amazon, let's just go over to this quickly. Amazon's come back in again. This isn't good enough for me. I'm going to put a bid. There it is at 91. So let's just spin that one more time, and we'll hit the siren to get rid of that. So, again, short, this is the only trade I had on Amazon all day, and I thought it was a pretty good one again. Wait until it came up to a level that I believed in, which is this 101.50. Short it, and then let it go down. So that's it right there. We didn't even get our full position. We started at 25. Look at the first take there, 15s, right? Then 05s, now O's, now sub-O's, 90s right now. So we're doing much better trying to hold on to some of these trades for a little longer. I just want to get over Amazon because I don't have any more bids. I mean, I do, and I got to cancel it. I don't want to 81. Let's see if we get a little lower. This is 65. Let's put a bid around 70 here where the 50 period is. The 200 period, and then VWAP. So I think Amazon continues to go down, so I just want to get that in there.
All right, yeah, let's go on to Tesla here. We'll wrap things up. Back to the downside today after a monster week, as we mentioned, not only this morning, but all day long. 33%, if you missed it. On the week last week, we're down about 5, coming back to session lows right now. I was just noting this volume that went off this morning around the open. It was 6.5 times relative volume. So maybe some profit taking, obviously some profit taking going on. Just at the open today, but we end up holding this 168.5, 167 area for Tesla, guys. Nothing in the way of earth-shattering headlines to deal with for Tesla anyway.
Not really. And, Tesla, for me, the dip buy was very similar early. It was very similar to what I was looking for in Baidu, right? Like, you had this channel on Friday. It had a dip in 75. I shorted 75 on the way up, and then it just turned on a dime at like 173, and then you see 75 hold. So pre-market, 75. I'm like, I'll go long into that range. It did not hold up, although if I had just jumped right back into it without getting stopped, it actually would have been a couple of dollars worth of a bounce. But we're talking about when a key level gets taken out to the downside, just make a reversal. So I did it a couple ways. So I didn't actually get the 73 when it broke down here. But what I was able to do was short the 170 break a couple of times into 169 for a buck. And then when I got a second chance at 173, scalp a dollar, hold on for 3. So that's the thing. Like, when you have a key support level that goes, a lot of times you get the opportunity to maybe short around that same level. If it's, support breaks, you go short. It could work in the other direction. I mean, you could have it break to the upside, and all of a sudden you're reversing from a short into a long instead of the other way around. But it's a down day today. If I get a pop back into that 72.5 to 73 area, I definitely take Tesla. It currently has a double bottom. I'm still trying to grab some Rivian. If that one is back at the low of the day, Rivian doesn't even want to pop. I was sitting at the offer looking right in here, and it never really got the fill. Next pop, I'm trying to get some Rivian to the south side. EVs are weak, but obviously, Tesla 5% is huge for that stock. Rivian and Lucid down 8% each. I think there can be a second move, especially with the market heading to the lows.
All right. Good job there on Tesla. Obviously, we had Tesla early as well, and it just didn't. Wow, 169 right now. Didn't really work out. We have a new group of traders in behind us, so it's good to see some new prop traders, I guess.
New blood
coming on the floor there. Some new blood. We went long Tesla early at 177, got it out at 178. We took $1, and it was actually just in the pre-market when we got this trade. It was all the way back here at 845. That's $1 right there, believe it or not. Then it went through 180, and it touched the pre-market high of 180. I thought it was going to break through. I was sitting here. I was watching it too. I was like, I should take this trade. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. Let's see what happens. And we did it. And then literally within 1 minute, these are 1 minute candles, by the way, Tesla went from 179 flat all the way down to 175 in that's 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, went down $4. We waited. That was our price. We wanted 175, so that's 177. That's 175. That's 174.60. So we eventually get out, and it just drips down. The rest, all the way touching that 173, then making it all the way back up. That's a screaming short there. And unfortunately, it's just too caught up. And like that should have been a short, noticing that Tesla was weak. Missed opportunity, man. I don't even want to look at this. I feel bad that we missed it so many times. So let's be done with the rundown. Thank you so much for that one. Brought to you today by nobody, but soon to be by somebody. So, all right, that was a good one there. Tesla, downside move. We'll probably try to catch some of that as we go. So let's just move on to some more ideas and or this idea by itself. I actually don't even mind breaking this lower through 169. I mean, if this market, first of all, we have a great short on Amazon, which is now back in the money, again, another 35 cents. But I'm just wondering about this break lower here on Tesla. I'd love for it to get back upside. And I don't know if right now in this market, if breaks are the right thing to play for. And what I mean by that is like, do you want to break a short or do you want to break a long? I almost feel like there's more upside to a long potential and letting it ride back up to, I mean, we're just bouncing off 12,000 now. So that's the key level of the NASDAQ that we have to watch. We were thinking about that level. So I think it's worth going long something now that we're down here off of this. So let's find something to go long. We're bouncing off 12,000 now. On that note, one more out here if we can, and as we should be able to. Just put an 84 bid in there for Amazon. We'll see if we can catch. There it is, so no problem right there. On that, we'll take 40 cents on Amazon. And I think it's worth looking for a long in something that's strong. Just got to find the right name because I feel like the market could bounce. I don't know, Carvana 10, by the way.
Carvana, I want to get to Carvana in a second because that's what bears mentioning. But I saw this in the chat, and I saw it too. Jeff Ross saying it a couple of times. Apple bounced off 143. Well, I remember that. That's Friday's low. Right at the open, there's a 143 level. Now, it's not necessarily, it doesn't really fit the criteria as being relatively strong. I mean, the NASDAQ and Apple are exactly the same. I mean, that's probably not telling you guys anything you don't know. However, if you're going to hold 12,000 and you're trading equity, then the 143 makes a lot of sense. So I really don't have an issue with that. I'm going to slip something in there and see if I can't catch it. I might start it at the quarters, but I want to have something a little bit tighter to that 123 level just in case we get it. I don't want to ignore you, Carvana, because as it's getting back to the upside, look at it actually end up holding up at 9.25. So that was the re-entry. Like that was our second long on the way to the upside, was right off that 9.25. If it does slip back down there, I don't mind you there, but a $10 break. I don't love breaks at 230 on stocks like this. Like I'd always almost rather be getting that dip buy. So I'm just going to slip on the bid here just in case it rejects 10 and then gets a bit of a pullback somewhere into the 30s and 40s. I'll take a shot at that one. The 10 break might loom if it's a little bit lower, a little bit later on in the session with a bit better volume. SoFi didn't end up stopping out, so it got pretty close down here to that support without running my stop. I don't want to add to this. The volume has really died down on SoFi. The market probably has to get going for it to make another leg, so I don't want to be adding to this while it's trending to the downside like that. And if I short something on the way back, I've already sort of shown I like Rivian to be sure. The other one would be Tesla. I'm not necessarily sure we get a big enough move to work off of 173 in Tesla. If we do, I'll be there for it. I'm just not really seeing it right now.
Yeah, so I took that. Shout out to whoever that was in the chat there. I apologize missing your name, but I took that trade.
Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross. I took that trade there for Apple. So let's see if it works. I'm long at 27. I was looking for something strong, and I mean, that bounce off 143. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the kind of trade I'm looking for. So we'll take it and hopefully be able to get something out at 50. I just feel like that makes sense if we can get something out up there and then hold for the dream as we go up the upside. But right now, 10 cents in the money. So a good call on that one. Thank you very much for that. What else is relatively strong? I mean, I can look over here. Let's do this right now. I'm going to give a big shout out once again to Michael Knotts, who's actually working on something for me as we speak. Bed Bath & Beyond, forget about it. I'm actually should reset all these these. Once you get into the afternoon, these races are still valid, obviously, but you could get big moves from the morning. So they're saying that Bed Bath & Beyond is still relatively strong. But I don't know. We'll check out what the price of that one is. Still winning some races here. I don't know. Again, it's just in relationship to the rest, right? So we'll call up the chart right here. It's not attached with the chart, so I'd have to actually physically change them. Intel there, 27. Boeing is on this list. I apologize if you guys can't see. If I make it, it still doesn't change the thing there. But right there, Bed Bath & Beyond just won that race. You could see not even that much of a move, but still on a $3 name, it ain't bad. So that's that. So let's just keep looking at this. Win. Now it's going to restart. What else on there? SoFi, we talked about that. Snapchat. Let's have a quick look at Snapchat. Thanks, Michael Noss, for all your help there with the trade ideas. It's giving me some new ideas. Right there. Okay, Snapchat. Let's go over and have a quick look. So we know they report tomorrow night. We talked about this earlier. Not really doing anything. Ooh, my own death cross right now when you have a 200 with the 50 period happening right now. So, yep, I don't know which way this means yet. Normally this will be a downside move because we are underneath this cross. But let's just wait to see right there, bouncing off 11 maybe. It's not much of a range. To put on a position now, it seems to be a little bit, if we get down to view up, Snapchat, whatever. Thought we'd look at there and there might be something happening, but
you mentioned Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah.
There might be something here.
All right.
It's got a flat bottom 280 level, which, look, that sets up for a couple of reasons because you could have a flat bottom break here, 280 once, twice,
sold.
3 times a lady, 3 times sold or 3 times a lady, whichever one you want.
Both.
Both. It's a good song. But I like both, actually. So speaking of both, I like the long in front of 280. I like the flat bottom breakdown on 280 on Bed Bath & Beyond. I traded it one time to the short side. You saw the move it made in the morning. Not really up for chasing that. I think by the time I even knew it was going, it was past the $3 level, and then you're setting up for that short at 325. But here, it's all about that 280. So I'm going to pop on the bid in front of 280. If it goes to the downside and breaks it, then I'm going to like the reversal. So it's going to get my stop orders locked and loaded, ready to go, so that I'm going to get that position. I just got Apple probably, I don't know why I put 27. I don't usually bid that number. I usually bid 22. That's a little bit weird, but I just picked that one up. I'm looking for something to the short side, and I know I want it to be Rivian, but Rivian doesn't even want to pop. Rivian is right at the low of the day, looking like it wants to break even lower. I'm in Intel, and the market's at the low. Okay, Intel's popping up here a little bit. Close enough to that 28 level. Yeah, that actually just gave me an opportunity to add to Intel. So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that. I believe like Intel's SSR. I kid, but Intel got absolutely destroyed on Friday overnight. So that's me reminding myself that Intel is SSR and I need an uptick. So I have to sit patiently waiting for said uptick to be able to add to this position. Hopefully Apple makes that nice little bit of a bounce. Oh, and Tesla just rejected 170. This 3 minutes is going to be hard to see until I zoom in. It just rejected 170. So there might be a lower high that I can work off here with Tesla at that 170. But the market hasn't really gotten through the low just yet. So I don't want to be chasing things short too far to the downside here. Intel, I like the level at 28 even. So getting 95 is not the end of the world.
All right, so last time we were here on Apple, we were waiting at 50. It went to 45, so now I'm waiting at 45. We're going to see if we can spin it for 20 cents right now and get out a half. There it is right now, so there's the spin for you as well. Nice take there on Apple, getting out of... We got out of half, to be honest with you, right there. So let's see if it wants to continue to move up. I just wasn't sure what we were doing. Amazon went right down to 70. Where I canceled my bid, thinking that we could go lower, but that's okay. I don't think we'll reload anything anymore. We are almost out of our Amazon. We only have 20% of that trade left, as it is trying to take this spot right here as well, 93, 94. Maybe we'll get a piece out if it comes back above 101. We're short at 22, so it's still a good trade for that, but we did want to get long on something, so there's Apple right there. Nice take, in right there on the 50 period, and out at 45, so that's 20 pennies. 18. Now we'll see why we took it. There's that 143 bottom. We'll just do that over and over again and keep doing it again. So if it comes back down, we'll take some more down here, a little closer to 143 and see if we can't get a better price. But definitely took a piece out there. It went up the first time. Like, that's where it went the first time. So that's where I put my offer. This time we would have got filled at 50, but that's okay. 45 is the out there. Now we have to look for something that maybe is going to be, I don't know, weaker or not, but the NASDAQ right now is... It's underneath the 50 period, and we're still above 12,000. So
Meta's weak, but
I'm
it's not
kind
moving.
of like, yeah. The thing about Meta was that that ran me over early, but here's the meta trade early for me. And it was fine. We got out so fast. Like, the trade came in, and then it was just like, okay.
I think I have exactly the same.
Look at this move for meta. Like, we went long 150 there thinking it was going to hold, and then when it didn't, it went from 150 to 147 in, like, I mean, sure, it was 20 minutes, but it was just straight down. And right now, yeah, you're underneath. So again, like, for me, I keep going back to like some of the stuff that I'm learning lately, and it's just like, you don't have to. My net right now is at day high. And it's like, you got to be patient with your trades. And like, if meta can get back up here, fine. But I don't need to push it now that we're in the middle. So I'm trying to find stocks that are getting pushed out a little bit, which is what I was talking about with getting Michael Noss to help me work on a few things. Bottom wicks, bottom ticks, things like that, or tops and bands getting broken, outside of Bollinger bands, things like that. There's so many good ideas. That's part of the reason why I put on RSI on here, to see if I can ever see something that's above. Like right there, we're below the 30 band there. So yeah, just looking for different opportunities. If you guys have anything, even any of your layouts on trade ideas you want to send towards me, you can do that as well. Just tweet it at me, at tradertv.Sean on Twitter or Instagram, as we try to get Instagram to blow up a little bit. Here comes Apple right back.
You know what's also good? Bollinger is actually better in a glass, I find.
Yes.
That's not that it's a bad indicator. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know if that'll help you find trade ideas or worse. Or
it'll help you find all kinds of trade ideas. You get a bottle of Bollinger, you're gonna you're gonna find a lot of great ideas out there. Probably too many in my. And by the way,
and the ideas may not be great.
No, and Bollinger, if you guys don't know, it's literally the champagne that James Bond drinks. So I'm a big James Bond fan. If you were at my wedding and you didn't notice what was going on, it was the greatest thing of all time. I'm telling the story for the millionth time. Every single song during dinner was a James Bond theme song, and only one person noticed. Before I had to say something, I'm like, really, nobody?
I was like, what the hell's wrong with this music? No, I was joking.
No, seriously, it's like, what, you think it's normal to play like Man with a Golden Gun? I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was friggin' hilarious. My wife loved it, which is, you got a winner if they let you do some crap like that. Although,
I mean, we came out as wrestling guys at my wedding.
You got to do that.
I came out as Hulk Hogan.
And I'm like,
so that's, the wife,
I told my wife, you know what I wanted to do? Because I wanted the saxophone, I wanted the soul glow from...
And she said no?
She was like, hell no, I'm not coming out to that. Eric LaSalle,
you guys... To the curb she goes.
You guys don't know about that, you guys have no clue. Coming to America, I absolutely love that scene where he comes into that ridiculous saxophone. I'm like, that would be the funniest shit if we ever did it in our wedding. And then she's like, no, we're not doing it. So I was very disappointed in that. I did, back to trading for a quick second, because I shouldn't harp on the wife for that. So I did just roll into some more Intel shorts there. Low of the day will obviously be a thing for me to get some shares out. And I think it's worth a reload on Apple. The thing about 143 quarters into 50s is that's halfway to that 143, which is the bottom. So I want to reload tighter to 143, zoom in because of those wicks, tighter to 143, and then try and rinse and repeat that trade. I'm looking for something similar to the short side. Carvana's starting to go, though. So CVNA, I said I like the dip. However, it just seems to only want to do the rip side of it. So it's above that 10 level. Looks like it wants to take out this quarters. I might just go for a play into 10 on the way back here, maybe a little bit of VWAP action. So this one's looking pretty strong. I'll cancel that dip by deeper. I don't really need that one. Where the heck is it? All the way down here. There we go. So I'm going to buy some in that 10 range, give it to that 975, just see how far it can go. Like, this has a shot to get back to 11. If something's going to be super strong, why not the name that was super strong this morning, right? It makes a heck of a lot of sense. And someone just asked me what the catalyst for SJI, it's being bought. I'm literally spread trading. I'm not in it right now, and I hope to not be in it again because it moved all of 1 cent today, and I was trying to take that spread, did not get it. Meta's the one I wanted to look for potential short. And the other out there, are you in Alphabet? No.
No.
No, okay. So Alphabet has this interesting, 1, 2, 3 times is tested 97. If the market breaks the low, Google breaking 97 to the downside looks pretty interesting to me. As a matter of fact, the ES is breaking the low right now. It's the NASDAQ that's not breaking the bottom. We see the market a lot of times, and I find some people are looking at the S&P 500, but it's a market still. It's the NASDAQ still at 12,000 and not breaking the lows that would concern me with taking a breakdown trade, because these tech names, you want that NASDAQ to break the low. So when I say the market and I talk about a tech name, I apologize. I am looking at the NASDAQ in particular.
Yeah, we'll, now that I see this, so I'm going to get a piece out of Amazon. It just keeps on bouncing here, so I did put a bid at 77. And those of you in the chat, shout out to Chris L. You're my new favorite, man. GoldenEye, come on, man.
It's coming back.
That was the best game for N64. Like,
no odd job.
We used to play that for over hours and hours. Like, literally go to Blockbuster. It's true. I'm old, but like went to Blockbuster, rented extra controllers like to make sure that you had the 4 players, and then just go nuts. And you mentioned like Odd Job and everything like that. Like
there were rules.
It was
man.
Literally the best. That's by far, like talking about bringing back memories. Like that was the best game.
Yeah, but better than Mario Kart.
Well, I think more fun. Yeah, for sure.
Really? Okay.
For me, GoldenEye was just a different boards and everything, and the fact that you could like. Yeah, I mean, and it was kind of the beginning of all.
It wasn't a ton of Mario Kart, bro.
Oh, Mario Kart's a lot of fun, but I don't know, GoldenEye, man, it's like that first player shooter kind of thing there. NBA Jam was so good. My friend had this actual NBA Jam, the real one. It was, I mean, look, we can go on and on and on and on.
Well, that man cave.
Yeah, NBA Jam in a man cave would be pretty sweet. Okay, just too sweet. All right now, Apple. So I'm not getting too, as Will Smith would say, jiggy with it right now. Oh, before comes through. We're going to wait for this one right now. Shout out to Chris Rock. This right here, a 143.20. I don't know. We've got this bid on the low side now of Apple. We're long at 12s. This can come back even to 20 to take a piece, and then back up there to 24, 25, and then we can kind of like let this thing go. Like I said, we are still below. Look, I'm getting out of this thing if and when it takes 143. So we'll just go a little lower than that. But the futures need to stop like right away because you're at 12,000. If it continues to go down, people are going to say, traders are going to say, like, obviously we didn't hold 12,000. Let's exit some of this. So we saw a big move up there on Friday due to us holding and taking 12,000. I talked about that earlier on when we were trading during the day. And now today it's the same way, but the other way now. So let's see if it holds it. If not, I think you watch out for the floodgates, which is why right now Amazon, like I'm bidding 77. Maybe I'll just bid 80 and get out of Amazon right now. Well, let's let it fall because if it comes down, that means Apple will probably crack. So let's get a little greedier on Amazon right now because if Apple cracks, we're gone on that one too, right? So we're close right here. Not liking this market as we stay under 12,000. So just keep your eye and your ears glued to that number right here.
Yeah, the way I'm kind of looking at it is the only thing I've got that should care about the market breaking that level, with any luck, should be Apple. Now, Carvana, I don't think the NASDAQ breaking 12,000 is going to matter here. It holding 10, it holding VWAP, now that's going to matter, to be sure. And then remember I said I'd go both directions in Bed Bath & Beyond? I almost said Alibaba. I have this bad habit of saying Alibaba with any stock that begins with a B, and I don't know why. But I just got 83s long in Bed Bath & Beyond. 280 is that big line in the sand. If it goes up to VWAP, I'm risking 4 cents, maybe 5 with slippage. So if I'll get 90s, if I can get 95s, I'm going to go ahead and take that. So these two, I hope don't care about the market. You never know. It absolutely could be the case there. Oh, I keep wanting that Rivian short. It's just there's no pop in Rivian. I don't know if that one's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into that one on the sell side of it. Meta does give you an opportunity here, maybe breaking down. Do I want that low break? We're beneath. Yeah, we're now beneath 12,000 on the NASDAQ. So I'm going to get that order in for the Alphabet break at 97. I want it breaking 97, and then just see if it can do that little flat bottom break, get me into position, scalps them out. The low of the day sits at 96.40, so I think there's room for this one to head to the downside, but I don't think Apple's going to hold this 143 at this point, and I want something that isn't Intel to the south side. You know what, but I don't want to chase anything. I'm going to get, if we break 97, I'm going to get that trade over there on Google, and of course, CVNA, let's make sure we're paying ourselves out, right? Like if I'm going to play 10, it goes up into this 1040 level. I already got out there once, no need to do so again. If we break the top, I'll get some out in front of 1060, probably 1050 actually. I like those 50s. We'll take some out in front of 1050 and then see if we can get to the high of the day. So I like that dip buy. It's starting to work. Bed Bath & Beyond isn't. Quite frankly, it's not even moving right now. And Apple about to break that 143, unfortunately. Can't do much about it. SoFi, at least this one's starting to get off the bid. I did not reload SoFi, but I am going to get some out in front of VWAP. It's just not strong enough. Like SoFi, Like, I'm watching it get up here, and it's so slow, and the volume. Look, you can barely even see these. Like, give me a break. It couldn't be doing any less volume than it is. It might as well be doing 0 volume. So if it can't get to VWAP and break it, lower highs all the way through, I'm just going to get some more shares out. This will be about break even because my last entries were at 72. And I'm trying to take 72, 73 for some of this, just to relieve the pressure. The market's too weak, and this is starting to slow down. I think Carvana looks a little bit stronger.
Yeah, we just to go over that, we have the same Apple trade, so 143 is breaking right now. You know, obviously we took an 80 out there on Amazon. We talked about that. So that is now only part left, but that's starting to break down. And you know what? I think we just got to go back to the well, man. I mean, the number one stock for me today, by far, like I was saying, is, and it's easily today, is NVIDIA. So I think we're going to go back to that well again. So like you're kind of just doing what you're doing now, which isn't much, but you're still below the 50 period. We can't use the 200 or VWAP anymore. I mean, we're well off of all those. So what I'm going to do is just use this bottom break. And it's great because it's at 193.50. So not only does it match sort of the style that I like to trade, trading even breaks like this, but it's just setting up to be technically a good break on the level. Like, you're still coming down. We've already bounced off of 194 a couple times. It wants to hold it, so that's good. You're still, you know, reflected here of the 50 period. It's not really worth going short yet because you're still in the middle. I'd rather go short on a break lower. Let the market tell us that it wants to go down. Like, I go short now, and you know, if the market doesn't go, then I gotta get out somewhere up here, which is going to be like a 50, 60 cent hit. The good thing about this level is if it goes down here, then I know the market's weak. I'm going with the market to the downside, and I can always get out for a 50 cent hit if it retraces back to the 50 period. So I think that I like this trade right now much better waiting for it. So I do have a stop order. I guess it's a limit order to get into a position. So just like you can be long and get out when it breaks 193.50, I'm going to do the opposite of that, be flat, and then as soon as my program here sees 193.50 printed, or lower than that, like 48, I put the trigger at 48, then we should be able to get into that the other way. So let's wait to see if it does trigger. But right now, there goes Apple to the downside, Amazon to the downside, and we will wait very patiently. Go ahead, Neil, for Apple.
Oh, no, I was just going to say I got flushed out of Apple there. I gave it a couple of pennies past 143 just not to have an even dollar stop. Why am I looking at the NASDAQ? I mean, okay, NASDAQ breaking 12,000. Is it WISA?
I think it's WISA.
Is it WISA? Because WISA sounds cooler. But this
it's
is
like it would be Lisa.
Lisa.
Like if it was an L, it would be
You're
Lisa.
tearing me apart, Lisa.
Oh, God, why did I say that? I think that's what it would be.
Right.
You guys let us know, but I think it's WISA. Lisa, WISA.
Now everyone's going to be like, why is he talking about the worst movie ever?
WUSA?
I mean, you've seen that, right?
Which one?
The Room?
I know. I didn't even know what you said.
Dude,
I saw you say Lisa, but I don't know what that's from.
It is hands down the worst film. It's so bad
that I'll have to watch it.
I'm telling you, they made a movie about the making of the movie. Well, I think it was like James Franco, who's bloody hilarious, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Tommy Wiseau is the character. Dude, that ish is so it's so bad. It's great. So WISA, whatever the stock is, they announced that there was a reverse split. And, reverse split, why not go up, right?
Right.
So that's what's happening. There's no other catalyst here. And I don't mean to be, like, just fundamentally speaking, you guys understand that a reverse split is because you're going to get delisted if you're under a buck and you're penny stock for a reason. However, a lot of these have been running. I think you'll want to take your profit when you get a chance on them. Quite frankly, I don't know how much further it's going to go. Clearly, you have a 10 breakout off support. Getting to 15 seems to me like a good level to take some off. I don't know how much locates are, but I'm going to find out because if this stock were to get to 15, it seems like an obvious area for potential retracement. So that's my note here. Have I seen the Arsenio Bad Day skit?
I don't know. What is that from? Arsenio Hall, I guess?
Yeah, I'm assuming you mean Arsenio. I've seen a lot of Arsenio skits. I'm going to have to refresh my memory on that one because that one's not ringing a bell, but I've seen a lot of good stuff by him. Look, I love Arsenio Hall, but that one is not ringing a bell. And if you're wondering why I'm looking up and answering questions, it's because we look at our chat and try to answer, when we're managing positions, obviously sometimes we get distracted. If you're not a subscriber, you cannot participate in the chat. So take a second, hit the subscribe so you can be in our chat and ask us questions. That's where I saw WISA or whatever the heck it is. You guys let me know. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I apologize. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a symbol and a small cap that has a reverse split and then decided to go up when it should go down. I just missed my first out there on Intel as the market is trying to come to the downside, and Google does not want to break 97, so I'm not in that one. CVNA, I still think it looks pretty good. Hit enter twice. I still think it looks pretty good, but it just rejected 1040 a couple of times. So let's see if it can bounce off 10 even again. It was pretty successful the first. If it holds 10 a second time, I think we punch through that 1040. If it doesn't get through 1040 after bouncing 10 again, I'd probably take another leg out in here and accept that it just wants to give you, 10 to 30 cent scalp trades. And if that's all it's going to be, well, that's not very exciting as far as I'm concerned. See what happens. Yeah. Why is someone saying pizza? Does that mean it's pizza, Weeza?
Oh, maybe.
Now you're just confusing
That would
me.
kind of be cool if that was the case.
Now I'm just getting confused here. People are saying it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, Lisa, pizza, Weetza.
I'm just gonna try. Let's just look at the levels.
I would just say it's Weesa.
Let's just focus on the levels. Of
Weesa, yeah.
Weesa.
Forget about this. All right, forget about all that noise.
Yeah, I know.
Right now, all right, so, if you can't beat them, join them to the short side maybe. We're going to try Apple a little bit here, back into the short. Let's just see. It just went 10 cents in the money. It actually broke down below a little bit there. I just want to, like I said, I want to watch the market. I mean, if the market's not going to go, then obviously none of these names are going to go. So you got to sit here and try to get something before it actually happens. So that's what I'm trying to do right now with Apple, get it before it actually goes. So we'll see. I don't want to give it too much again. Like if I go back and forth with this name, great. And hopefully just be able to survive it a little bit. So that's what we're trying to do right now with Apple. If it can get down, it's trying to break back down below some of those levels. My out was basically the bottom of the day there. So that's going to happen sometimes. But let's just wait to see if it works. I'm only going to give this 10 cents. We gave it 10 cents long. Now I'm going to give it 10 cents short. And if we get wicked out, like not wicked out, but if we just get taken out back and forth like that, then so be it. I mean, I don't know what else to do as we sit here and wait to see where Apple wants to go for the rest of the day. So that's that trading. We're going to wait for it. Hopefully it comes through, like I said, to the downside. I do have a bid. Where am I short again here? I'm short at 96, so I actually don't have any bids. We're going to check back in on BABA just to see where that is right now as we have our out for Apple, so we'll just let it go. Yeah. We're right about Alibaba wanting to do this, but unfortunately we miss out by not having the trade. We could have taken it on this breakthrough VWAP, but it's still a nice move down. We talked about this around 2 o'clock, so it's now continues its downside move. So Fed rate coming in a couple days, man. We'll have to wait to see what happens with that move, but Wednesday is when that comes in. So maybe the market just wants to go up and down and around and do a little bit of a dance right now until that day. So that's what I'm thinking is happening. I don't know what you guys think, but the move might have already been there. Let's see if we take 12,000. That's really all that I'm waiting for now.
Yeah, that's sort of the problem here. It's like exactly what you're saying. It's like we're back and forth 12,000, but we're not exactly. Every time we bounce, we don't go more than 10 points, and every time we flush, we don't actually break the morning low.
Right.
And that just puts you in this sort of range-bound trading, which I think that's why I like the Carvanas and Bed Baths of the world, because everything else here, and by the way, I'm looking at Lucid. I'll talk about that next. Everything else is kind of very range-bound. Now, Lucid just failed at 12 even again. I think that's going to be a good level. That was support level. As I have a frog in my throat, I'm going to have to refill my water. That was a good level for support. I think beneath that number, it might make some sense for some shorts here. I was only short 1180, but that's because that was that early morning sort of bottom that ended up holding very nicely. But I might take a little something to the short side there. I did prefer Rivian. And now let me look back at Rivian here. What's Rivian doing? Rivian's not really doing much, but if Lucid starts picking up volume, the 12 level could make sense. Okay, Carvana's trying to make another push here up to the high of the day, and this, not the high of the day, up to that recent high at 1040. I'll zoom in just so we see the trades that matter in here. If it's now bounced off 10 a second time, if it can't get past 1040 now, I'll probably, instead of offering in front of 50s, I'll go offer in front of 40, see if I can't get something inside of this range up here. And if it breaks out, then we can try to hold for the high of the day. BBBY is starting to go. And as I was just typing saying BBBY, I just started adding B's and had like 5 B's when I went to pull up the symbol. If it gets to VWAP, I do expect to have half of this out. And then if it gets to $3, I'll probably take another couple of legs out as well. I just want to be playing off that 80 level. If I can get 90 and then get like 95s or close to that, I think that's good. I have 83s long with an 80 stop, so the risk to reward makes sense. And here, unless the market makes a big move, every trade has to make sense risk to reward, or don't put it on. Because if we don't get a big outsized move, you don't get the hold on for the home run. And if the market doesn't give you the home run, then you have to be very particular about price. Because you can't just say, oh, look at how great the trend is going to be, I can hold it forever. If we're not getting that, then you got to be really, really careful with what you're doing here. And that's part of the reason why I just took a couple legs out of SoFi. Because if I'm playing off 665 down here, well, when I'm long at 71, 72, if it can't crack VWAP, then I should be long in the 67, 68 range instead of at 72. So I took a couple legs out so that I can come back in and actually bid down off support here. So if it does end up holding this range, instead of being long here, I'm long a little bit tighter to that 65 area. And if it wants to trade inside the range, fine. Then we'll just keep ringing the register on this dip buy on SoFi all afternoon.
Okay, guys. Yeah, good. I mean, the market's got to go, right? Yeah. So we're just bouncing around. We're back up to 12,000 now, starting to go to the upside. I'm looking at Meta maybe here. Nice move back up 50 cents. What about if we take 148? So that's something that I was looking at right there on the 200 period. So probably, I mean, I'm going to push long at 148 if it goes back up there. So let's trade that if it goes long. Meta 148, I actually like the trade. So that should be something that we could do. If it does fall back down, you know, we'll get out around where we are right now. So let's see what happens with Meta taking out that 148. And then also, honestly, I know I was talking about that NVIDIA short, but what about an NVIDIA long through 194.50? So trying to switch it up a little bit here. I think we still favor the short. But again, the market is still at that 200 period, so let's see what it wants to do right now. But all right, Brendan with happening now, I'm going to say, I think, over at the big desk.
Hey guys, into the final hour of the day we go. Still a red board to show you here right across the entire thing, actually accelerating in some cases back to the downside now. 1.13 for the S&P, 0.63 for the Dow. The Russell have been around this 1% or thereabouts mark for quite some time. It's been the NASDAQ all day long, still leading the way. Even here in Toronto, still about 0.5% to the downside for the TSX. Speaking of downside, this move in crypto continuing as well. Downside trying to accelerate, in fact, back below that 22,750 or testing it right now for Bitcoin. Ethereum 1550 as well coming into play. Multi-week support levels, I guess you could call them, coming into play right now. Here's an interesting look for you. Top performers and decliners of the afternoon so far. That CINF preliminary results better than expected this morning. Same story for Franklin Resources, BN up 3.5%. GE Healthcare, we mentioned there briefly, 3% today off their earnings this morning. Pre-market downside, meanwhile, yeah, the big ones, NVIDIA, Tesla leading 4.8, 4.7, Moderna there 4.2 on that note about COVID vaccine demand going to drop off a cliff apparently this morning. Pfizer and Moderna down on that. 3.8, speaking of vaccines, Johnson & Johnson 3.8% downside. If you missed that talc powder story that came through just as we went off at 11 on to the midday. Big move down for J&J today. In fact, I just noticed day lows coming into play right now, 4%, as they had that appeal thrown out of court this morning, saying that their talc division actually had no financial issues and shouldn't have been declaring bankruptcy in the first place.
Yeah, interesting story there with J&J. Yeah, I mean, I think you got to always buy that company on any dip, so they just had earnings there, so we did see J&J. Look, NVIDIA's going to take it out right now, as is Apple, so I think we're getting ready to go long on a bunch of things right now. Meta, all of that. You're starting to break higher right now. So there's the first Meta trade that's in. Let's see if that one wants to go now. Meta long through that break of 10. Went right there, 05s. Now we go up to the upside. Let's see if it wants to work. I actually don't mind trying to get Apple long as well. We don't need to be long everything. You know, I'm going to cancel the Apple. Although
Everything.
Yeah, not bad. I don't know about everything right now, but we'll see if it's going to go. And then NVIDIA's the next one that we're going to see about going as well. Apple, I don't want to miss the best one, but we're in Meta now, so I feel like we have enough coverage if Meta goes. That NVIDIA trade, as I'm just looking, 194.50, yeah, right there. I'm still going to take it if it goes, but for right now, let's see if Facebook, Meta, down 2.4% right now, which is much better than the NVIDIA trade. But Apple is down the least out of all of these names. So we'll see. 143.50 for Apple looks like a good break as well. Damn it, we should still be long that one. I don't know what we screwed around with that at 143 there. That was stupid.
It was probably too tight of a stop, to be honest with you. That's the way to look at it. It was the right price. It was the right trade. It was too tight of a stop. I'll say that for myself. But Carvana did break that 40. Like I said, I get it in front of 40 instead of 50. It's up at 45s now. Our last entry was at 10.06. So at this point, you just want to see if it can get back to the high of the day. That stands at 10.85. Oh, I don't like the dip by there. I still think the dip is still in about 10, so if it pulls back into 10 even, I'll give it one more shot for a dip here in Carvana, and we'll continue to go along that. I can't get, Bed Bath & Beyond, come on, give me a break. Yeah, it's, you know what? It's just coming up here and rejecting like 88. It doesn't even want to give you 5 pennies. That might be too weak, and I have to get something out here. And I want to look for something that's still valid to fade, just in case the market does roll back over. Tesla's broken 170. I'm going to cancel 73s if it gets up there. That's a totally different story. 71s could come into play, but then you're diddling in the middle, which I don't want to do, particularly with that stock. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's setting up to the short side other than, obviously, Intel just gave another look at that 28, and I keep only getting 95s. I should actually get something closer to like 98, 99s. That's working back into the low of the day. And then I see Leon asking about NEO. Look at NEO on the daily. Yeah, we were looking at NEO on the daily this morning. So if you look, I've gone back too far. NEO holding a double bottom, or whatever you want to call it, down around $8, and then you got the 50 period, which just got taken out. The problem is it keeps rejecting like this 14 area. There's a lot of room where it to bounce back off like 10, 11, probably more 11 because that's a 50, and then you could work to this, the 200 period moving average. Those are the ones I like to look at, the 50 and the 200. And I just feel like it's on its, I felt like it was on its way back to the 50 period today on some weakness. And if you look at the last couple of sessions here, despite the fact that I dip bought it in front of 12, really the play would have been to short it. And then if it gets down to that 11, that's where support would be at the 50 period. And then consolidation there, maybe makes another leg up from that standpoint. As always happens, NEO's always really late to let you know when they're reporting their earnings, so I'll have to double check. Because I feel like early on in earnings season, you get like 3 or 4 dates for them because everyone's trying to figure it out, and then eventually you figure when that's going to be. But I do like that 50 period and $11 there. I just feel it has to get down to that price. If I was really aggressive, I think I might have been shorting this one at the open. However, my attention was with Rivian and Lucid. And that's the reason I was only looking for the long there on NIO off 12. I think $11 is a great level, though.
All right, I think we're just going to have to, unfortunately I'm long Meta, but I'm thinking about this NVIDIA trade. It's, okay, we just took it. So I was going to say it's breaking 50 right now. I pulled the order, then put it back. It's, obviously with this market going to the downside, we're not, in love with any, I'm not. Like, we've just thrown away money there on Apple, going back and forth, trying to pick this market when we don't really need to do that. We should have just, like I said, man, we're absolutely destroying NVIDIA today, so I don't really know why we left it too much there. There's another call, so let's see if it does continue its march lower here. We'll see. It just broke that 50 level, and we just touched 33 there to the downside, and there it is, our final load there for Meta. We are going to be getting out if it breaks through 70. That's that bottom right there. That's 80 on the 50 period. So let's watch out to see if that does happen. I understand that it's going to be hard for me to win on both Meta and on NVIDIA short. Like Meta long, NVIDIA short doesn't plan out to be a good combination. So definitely aware of that right now. So let's just see what can happen here. Maybe Meta spikes up a little bit and we're able to get a little bit out of that if it does come back up. But there's the average. That's 05. We're only long at, we're already long at 01s here. Yeah, we're long at 01s. It's not... we need a bigger move, and I think it can get here. It's just now I'm nervous. Like my eyes are going both ways now, trying to figure out, do we want this NVIDIA? Do we want this Meta? Do we want both? What's going on here? Definitely could get stopped out of one, if not both of these. So that's the one thing we're trying to avoid right now. So long Meta, short NVIDIA. Let's see if this somehow works. But if the market just keeps doing this, this is not a great idea. I got to figure out which one I like better right now. It's probably going to be the NVIDIA short. So yeah, the Meta, we have our target for it. So let's see what happens. But a breakdown of 70 here, we're going to get out of Meta. So that one could be not long for my portfolio here.
I think that's sort of the case. And you know, I'm sort of favoring, the only thing I have that I think is going to follow the market's Intel. And I might be favoring the short. So I'm just looking for things that I can short on pop. Someone just asked me about Rocket Labs or Ryan Hurley in the chat. I don't know what to tell you. The stock's not doing anything here today, so you got me to look. If that's all you wanted, as we go to Brendan.
Just saw this note. Stock not really doing anything, but noteworthy anyways, guys. Peloton, web traffic looking encouraging according to Barron's analyst with a positive note just coming out on Peloton. Still down on the day here, but worth a note for Peloton.
And I just saw Impossible. I just saw another note coming through here. Impossible Foods.
Oh.
Was Beyond Meat going crazy? Because Impossible.
It's down 10%.
Yeah, they were planning on laying off. I don't know, laying off 20% of staff. Impossible Foods. So that can't be probably good news for Beyond. But Beyond's already had a nice move from that bottom of 11 or 12 bucks all the way back up to 20 just yesterday on Friday. And now today, off of that monster move on all those squeezes as everything was squeezing, this name continues to rock and roll here. Back down. Watch out for 1650 break. But again, shortable, not off the bid. You have to wait as we now just went SSR.
Yeah, ugly day for them. And, you know, I feel like when it's a down day in these markets, you know, some of the names that have caught like little bids in here and there start to get trounced. And one of them, which it's not there yet, but we talk about this setup. One of my favorite setups. I mean, that's why I coined the term flat bottom break, because I just thought it was such a fantastic setup that why not give it a name and why not be creative about it? Because, you know, why would I steal that from somebody like a professor or anything like that?
That would make no sense to steal that from anybody.
I would no. It's the professor himself, Sharif, made that term. 12:30 on Peloton, double bottom, pre-market lows. It even broke out from there on Friday. Maybe it breaks, maybe it doesn't. But guess what just did? Alphabet. So Alphabet's through 27 even. I'm short at 96, 97. That's so 97 cents. That's like 3 cents worth of slippage. That's another flat bottom break. Room to the low of the day. We're still holding below 12,000, so I feel like the low of the day is in play for Alphabet here. That's my 15. Probably easier to show you this on the 3-minute chart there. So low of the day at 96.40. We'll hold it until at least there, but I do want to make sure I'm getting some scalp trades out. The first 25 cents, obviously you can see resistance up here at 27.20 or so. So once it goes 1-to-1, I want to make sure I'm taking a little something out to said downside on Alphabet, which I'm in for the first time today. I liked Alphabet if it could have gone to $100. It obviously didn't do that. That would have been an obvious short, just never happened.
Yeah, we're going to take something out here on NVIDIA, hopefully. Down here, just went into the 20s. We took a piece out for flat there at 50. Just, yeah, I wasn't sure. And then the market started to go back upside a little bit. And then I was like, yeah, what about this Meta trade? And, you know, this is what I mean. I need to cut some of this, because if I just sit here and hold both of these trades, I don't know if they can both work. Although they're both working sort of now, that doesn't mean that, you know, moving forward. Let's get, if I could take a piece out here at the bottom of this NVIDIA trade, then that should be pretty good. And at least there it is. So that's good. So we'll go like that for now. Meta could still drop out. So that's why we take a piece out right now, as Meta's kind of just flirting. We could do the same thing here. Like if Meta comes back up, we could take a piece out. But I mean, we just got a nice out for NVIDIA. So as we lighten up on that stock, see, so that just came out right there at 28 or 30 and then spiked back to 40 a little bit. So yeah, not much happening right now in the market. And I feel silly just sitting here trying to make something happen. So let's go over to Lucid, a name that we know has volume in it and can move today. So 100 million shares, not as much obviously as Friday. Came back in, again, not really at too many levels. It looks like 12 is going to be a good short there. So maybe we just get patient and wait for that name. We just talked about Beyond Meat, SSR now. Lucid's down. We just talked about that, down 8%. Rivian, I paid for shorts on this, but I think this is down the same as them all right now, down 8%. Yeah, okay. This one looks like it wants to take that down. So that's 18.20 right now. Probably a decent short here as well for Rivian coming in.
Yeah, it's
I
just.
don't know, maybe. I don't know if you want to take a trade right now. I mean, I'm trying to find something.
It's a frustrating thing because as soon as I got into Alphabet, you think, so here's what you typically want to happen. When you get a flat bottom break like this, or you have like an afternoon support, you can see it, not incredibly strong, sort of double, triple topping, pre-market highs, opening range, making a low, making a lower high, sort of rejecting that, and then you break the range late in the day. Like how many times have we seen this story? In a weak market, it breaks a level like this, and it just flushes. Stops get run, a little bit of panic selling in there. No, there really has not been a heck of a lot of that. So it's a bit, and this is sort of the problem with the market. If it breaks the low of the day, and we break 11.8 or whatever, let me just actually check this on the NASDAQ. Sorry, 11.980. If that gets taken out, I think Alphabet's at the low of the day. But until it does, you got to be a little bit patient. I'm just going to, SoFi is ridiculous. I'm not even going to buy this one anymore. I got a bunch out at VWAP. I got a little bit left. If it breaks a low, I'm going to be out of this one. If it's not going, it's not worth it. Bed Bath & Beyond tried going up into VWAP. This is not even worth the reload. My stop is in at 280. It's very binary. Either it breaks 280 and I lose 4 cents, hopefully, slippage, maybe a couple more, or we get a push into VWAP. But that's a frustrating one. Carvana, the difference, you can buy off support, but if nothing's happening, it's happening. The only reason CVNA is the only thing that's done anything is because it was making moves and increasing volume. And you can see the volume picking up, see it breaking VWAP, and that's why it was worth it, and that's why I'm still in it. But even this, I'm not even sure that's worth the dip buy. I don't want to get run over standing in front of 10 here. That worked. I don't need to compound this by buying too high. Berendo.
I saw a note on Nike here. Sean, you might want to have a look at this. Is Marissa watching right now?
I don't know.
Hopefully. Nike teaming up with Tiffany, guys, on a $400 shoe, according to Business Insider.
Really, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, she just bought Aloe track pants, which were $200 for track pants, so that was pretty hype right there. Hey, when you got it, you got to spend a little bit there. Pretty much, I don't even see my money. It just goes. It's not her. It's everything goes to the kids, believe it or not, and then back into some investments and whatnot. But okay, yeah, no, Nike and Tiffany, $400. Those are probably, they won't even hit the market, so I wouldn't worry about those if you guys are into shoes. Those will get snatched up by collectors, and then the least you'll be able to pay for them is $400 at that point. It'll be much, much higher than that. Okay, here we go. So if you can't beat them, like I said, let's try to join them. We've reversed over into Meta. Meta dropped down, so we was like, okay, let's just go short. So now we're short Meta. And by the way, the trade that I gave myself and everyone else was like, hey, let's just stick with something that works. Well, now NVIDIA is $1 in the money and still going to the downside. This is a trade that we just put on. So, we'll lose a little bit on Meta there. We talked about that. Not a good trade, obviously, as we went long and then it broke. And same thing with Apple. But if we just stuck with what we've been doing here, look at this, man. An absolute destruction there to the downside here for it. We got out for flat because we were like, maybe Meta will work. Didn't. Wish we didn't get something out. We got 10% out. Drop it down. There's 30. Drop it down. There's O's. And now you're really breaking lower here as there goes NVIDIA, and we take our hands off. The money's coming in on this one as well. We'll take a dime on, we'll see if we can get a dime on Meta. Hopefully that breaks as well, but for right here, NVIDIA is absolutely puking all over itself down to the downside, and it's continuing to move. So bye-bye, see ya for NVIDIA. That's a smooth dollar. Again, trade the right names. That's the important thing. It has nothing else. My
Tesla
mind.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Tesla's another name. If you trade the right names, all of your strategies will work. Period. It has to follow through. Meta, we went on there, we hadn't made any money on it, so why would anything work, right? NVIDIA's been working. If you're reading it, you got to stick with it. There goes NVIDIA, $1 in the money. Not that your strategies are always going to work, but if you stick with something that's been working, it'll tend to keep on working. So let's see what happens now with NVIDIA. About 80% or 80 cents in the money. Meta, we just took out a dime. This needs to go a lot more than that.
A bit of a double bottom here on Tesla. I don't want to ignore anything. We try to get to everything for you guys, and all we ever ask of you, take a second, hit the like. I'm actually seeing a pretty weak number on the likes. I don't even want to say it because it's sub 1,000, which is a bit disappointing. So take a second.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it. It's sub 1,000. Take a second, hit that like. I think Sean's dropping some science for you guys there. I was like science. It's just knowledge for those of you that aren't nerds. And then hit the subscribe if you want to be in the chat. Tesla is getting its butt kicked today. And speaking of going back to things that have made sense, well, instead of waiting for it to pop, I would have liked to have traded off 71 or 73. 169 just broke down. It bounced off 168 exactly. There was a big order on 168. However, I'm not favoring long in front of that. I don't want to stand in front of that wall. The market just took out that low. So if it pops back up, I'm looking to fade said pop, if anything else. And I don't want to be buying dips just yet. So I think I want to stay away from that. Carvana, I didn't even buy the dip on Carvana. Actually pulled my order. It bounced off 10. I think it's about to break 10 again. And if it does, we could be headed down to 940 and no need to rinse and repeat that. If it gets to the high of the day, fantastic. We can hold on to it. But we've already scalped some out of this. I don't feel the need to compound that. It's a pretty weak looking failed break at 1050. So 10 would need to hold. And I don't need to be getting back in front of a falling sword, which this market definitely looks like it will be. If you're looking at Lucid here, that $12 level, it's gone. You can pretty much forget it. Always hit New York. It did make one retest here. I don't think it actually got up there. But if this takes the low of the day, I'm still favoring Rivian shorts, if anything else. And Rivian had it enter twice every single time. That's just gliding to the downside. If it doesn't make a pop for me to fade this 40 level in the next, I'd say 10 minutes by 3:30, I'm canceling my orders. I don't want these shorts coming in too late. I like the level, but at some point, I got to accept this doesn't want to give me my fill.
All right, so Meta's coming back up now. We did take another fill there at 57 right there on Meta, so it's coming back up. So we're going to get out here if it takes down this piece right now. We're still, we talked about it, we're still in our NVIDIA trade, which looks to be pretty good. What else haven't we talked about lately? Amazon's 50 cents in the money as well. That went all the way down to, not the low of the day, but down to VWAP, where we could have got some out. But again, if we think this market's going to fall down, then let's hold on to a name that we know is pretty weak, but could get going again. You know what? Maybe because of this level that we're at right here, maybe that was a good out here for Amazon. I was too busy looking at the newer positions and didn't really forget about this, but at the same time, I was sort of just trusting the level because we were in the money so much and I hadn't looked at this in a while, but you can't really ignore it. So I don't want to just bid 60, like that's only 10 cents away from now. If this market takes down the low, which it's trying to do, I mean, I don't know, am I not reading this properly? Like it looks like it wants to go lower. So we're below the 50 period. We just took down the day, isn't that the day's low? Might as well be. Yeah, right there. So we just took down the day's low. That happened at about 10 o'clock. Right there, I guess it's 11:45. Took that, 10:45 took that down. So I don't know. It looks like we're trying to get lower and lower and lower here. So for me, this looks like a good one. So we're going to hold on to it and see if that is exactly the case for the NASDAQ going lower. So I think that's what we got good there for Amazon. And we also have the other trade too. Meta is coming back in a little bit, and then we have $1 on NVIDIA as that's trying to go its lowest spot right now as well. So yeah, let's just stay here. Let's stay here with these trades. They look good. They should be fine. I'm happy with them. Again, the only one that I'm most nervous about, or big time nervous about, I guess, would be, let's put another bid because I say that, we'll put a bid at 61, is Meta. It doesn't want to go. The market's breaking low. We're not even near, not even close to the low on Meta, so I hope that we can get there. That's 37. Is that the low on the day? No, like this is the low of the day. We should be down here. So I don't know. Let's regroup a little bit. Go over to Tesla because I got to think about this Meta trade.
So Tesla ended up breaking that 160. I elected, like I was sort of saying, if we got 69, we would have got 69. I decided I didn't want to play it for the long off 68. I guess the first time it gave you 20 cents, 30 cents, something like that. But now it's broken the bottom. I'm short at 95. Not a bad price. But if it went to 35 before, then I kind of like that 35 to 40 area for a bit of an out. And if the market continues to go to the downside, I mean, why can't Tesla stretch a little bit further than it has? Just to go to the higher time frame here. This is the other thing about Tesla. Like beneath here, go back to Friday. And on Friday, this all started at about 162. Like there's tons of room for this stock if it does want to continue down. It is a relatively tight stop when I'm taking a bottom break. Any breakout or breakdown, I tend to have, it's different risk than shorting into a level. I'm shorting on a break of a level, so I'm not holding it infinitely against me. But if you go long 168, I've seen that work before, and if the market doesn't follow through, maybe you get that scalp trade. I just wanted to be playing these shorts because it felt like the market was a little bit weaker down here. And sometimes you got to go for a direction and then see what happens. This does mean, now that I'm in Tesla, I probably won't be as aggressive trying to catch Rivian if it comes back to the upside. As a matter of fact, I'm canceling those orders as we speak. And if we, you know what, if we get back beneath 168, going back to my 3-minute chart, you kind of see us consolidating here. It gets back beneath. I might like it a little bit more, just a little bit of a place to add to this one if I can catch some in the 90s. Even as I just said that, I'm like, oh, if it gets back beneath 168, I think I want to add to it. It breaks 168, I offer 95s again, and it just immediately starts falling. So that's kind of.
I know I was going to say, watch out for your SoFi because
SoFi has not.
I'm trying to go short.
Yeah,
I'm trying to go short on a 60 break now on SoFi.
I'm just
so
punching out of it.
It's fallen down here. This is, as far as I know, the low here. Maybe not of the day, but just, yeah, I mean, that was the low there, 65. So let's just see. It's danced here. This is, the low of the day is right off open, but I'm not going to. Again, when you have earnings plays and things like that, the open is going to be insane. So yeah. I'm not going to use that necessarily as an indicator, but we are trying to get on this 60 break. I'm going to give it a couple more pennies to make sure that it breaks it. I'd like to see a 45 print to come through, to be honest with you. So if that does come in, then we'll take that print. We're going to take another bid, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately just because I don't think it's a great trade, but Meta coming back in, if we can get another, I just put a bid at 59. I don't know. Hopefully we can get that, and that would be pretty sweet. But that's going to be one area of concern for me. Like we said, it just went all the way up to 80s. So yeah, let's get a 59 if we can there for that. And then we're going to watch out. Did SoFi just break? I didn't get the fill. No. Okay. I thought I saw my net bounce there a little bit, but I didn't get shares. So okay, let's watch to see now. SoFi did not break. I was on a different screen. So we'll wait to see. Oh, I think it was Amazon. Yeah, that's what it was. So Amazon just broke lower there. So Amazon just spiked down a little bit. It was right there at 63, 64. That's what flickered there. Went all the way down to 52. So far so good on that one as Amazon breaking lower. Whoa. So that's a good one. And there's Meta. We get our 59 fill. So, reversing into the short. We won't make everything back because we were long there. We were long and we lost.
Dump it.
Yeah, we lost a little bit. We lost about 30 cents. So this is going to have to get in a little bit more. And I don't know if that's possible. But hey, our NVIDIA one is definitely the money trade right now. Downside for NVIDIA. So that's what I mean. All in all, look, some ideas are going to work. Obviously, some aren't. But this NVIDIA one is just like outsized profits today for me on NVIDIA, as we've had only good reads. Like the long rate there was great until it fell. Then we reversed short, and the short rate now, just to have been held, we're short from 198, right? Just averaged in. It's just the trader mentality. I keep getting in and out. So right there, we're still short NVIDIA and holding this. And we just put this on. You want a power hour trade, this is down $1 in 20 minutes. So hopefully that will continue. But there we go. I'm just waiting for Meta for the next shoe to drop. Don't know if it will.
Well, if the Prime Minister of Canada is going to tell us to look at Bitcoin in the chat there, then Justin Trudeau, I'm going to look at.
What's up, Trudeau?
I'm going to look at Bitcoin. So
what a surprise. He's not a member.
Yeah,
like he didn't subscribe.
How can you not be a subscriber, Mr. PM?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm sure that's not the actual Justin Trudeau.
Are you sure?
If it is, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. But Bitcoin is getting its butt kicked right now. Like this is an hour chart. That's just what I happen to use over here in Binance. But it's right back into the lows. That's sort of what we saw last week. So you're going to see that's why NVIDIA is coming down. The market has been going to the downside. This just tends to follow it every single time. So I just wanted to get that one and show it to you guys. I just got the fill out in front of 167.50 on Tesla, and then was able to get that short, kind of adding to it at that 168. So I am back in. However, I don't want this thing breaking out of this channel. If you wick the bottom here at the end of the day, I've seen relief rallies before, and I don't want to get tripped up. So if it's going to make a break, as a matter of fact, there it is. I'm just going to get out right there. Get out. It flushed. That's now a wick bottom on Tesla. And if it does make a push higher, I still like 170. It's so far away from these tops that if it only gives you like 30, 40 cents on the winning trade, I don't want to give it forever on the other side. Alphabet is still holding, interestingly enough. That's crazy. Like Alphabet breaks 97, kind of doesn't fill me on the bid here in front of 75s, It's not really threatening me to the upside or to said downside. Intel's in the money, and that's working. I got stopped out of SoFi the last. I decided not to average into that one. Again, I was averaging into it. Well, I was reloading it over and over again. And the same thing for Carvana. Just stopped out there at 10. It bounced nicely off 10, got into 10.50, but I'm not going to hold it forever. The volume's definitely tapering off a little bit. Probably a strong name. Maybe more interesting if it gets back up to some of those highs and shows me that it wants to actually break out there again. And I might not be done with Tesla. I just want to see us reclaiming some of these lows. Like, if it can't seem to hold beneath 168, I'm chasing bottoms on this name, and no need to do that unless I see follow through. We're going to get an update on the early look of the imbalances at 3:30. Not that it matters, but if that happens to be the sell side, I might like getting some more of these more aggressively at least. I might add to Alphabet if I get a chance. If I see a sell imbalance, I might get back on the offer of Tesla as well.
So I don't know. I think my daughter ate something over yesterday. I was telling this to Neil. She's been like puking all morning and all afternoon right now. So big shout out to my wife who's at home taking care of her, of course. And then she just says, "Hey, Daddy, can you pick me up some ice cream? Thank you, love you." I go, "What kind?" Let me think. And now she has this emoji going on right now. So she's going to think she's 8 years old. She's going to let me know. And, of course, she can get whatever damn ice cream she wants. Maybe vanilla. Okay, so we'll figure that out. Oh, hold on a second. Hello, Justin? Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, that was, okay, he called me back, Trudeau. Yeah, so I'm going to be in Ottawa, actually, true
You're
story.
going to Ottawa?
Yeah, I'm going to be there for Family Day weekend.
What are you guys
So
doing
my daughter has a hockey
okay.
tournament. Yeah, so we're going to be there. I just confirmed dinner reservations with Trudeau there. So we'll be in there, and I'll talk to him about subscribing to the show. So hopefully
Which you think he would
I
be
can get him
already?
on board on that one. All right. Again, like, is Meta going down or not right now? I tried to get my daughter on French vanilla, but I think she just wants the plain vanilla there. So we'll see about that.
You can't go wrong. It's a classic, but
I love French vanilla. I think they like it too, but they're more about it with like apple pie and all that stuff because my wife's
a la mode.
All right, a la
It's like the
mode.
only
Yeah,
French
I love
I
the
know.
a la mode. All right, so here it comes right now. We finally, is it worth it? I think yes. Let me take a 40 bid. So it's just coming down here. That bottom wick is 35.36. Finally, Meta starting to break to the downside. So my best bid right there is 50, which is right where it's at right now. So hopefully we can get lower on that one as we'll hit this as the market turning redder as we speak right now.
Redder?
As if the market was Method Man. It's pretty red right now, down to the downside. Let's see. Well, I could say Red Man, but that's too obvious right there. So here we go again. Nice downside move here for the market. Let's see. Nvidia's already $1.80. Sorry, $1.20 in the money. I'd like to see this get a lot lower rate now. There we go. I got a thanks. So maybe she finally told me. Maybe it's just vanilla is what I got to go with. Nice move to the downside. We'll see, though. I kind of want to hold this, so we'll see what's happening. We did not get that bid on Meta. Just debating taking a 50 fill here again as the market's trying to rally just a little bit.
I know, now it bounces again. And by the way, we just I entered back into Tesla because, and we'll go to Brennan in a second, he gave the early look and it was $1 billion to sell.
What?
So I get out of Tesla. I see he says $1 billion is the early look, so I just jump right back into the short on Tesla. I might give us a little bit more room, but I can't give it forever as we're supposed to go to Brendan for the small cap recap.
Hey guys, brought to you by Trade Ideas, comprehensive stock scanner used by active traders to quickly and efficiently identify trading opportunities daily, featuring powerful tools like the innovative stock races you see the guys using every single day to quickly identify and act on potential trades. Check out the link below in the description. Use that link, get 20% off. Trader TV 20, get you 20% off. Shout out to Trade Ideas. Busy day for small caps, ton to look at. GMVD, I mean, if you missed the initial move and that crazy halt that happened, there wasn't much to do. This ends up being kind of a sideways nothing trade on this, but I just took the halt resume there on the breakdown of 6. That gets down to 525 or so. So yeah, I mean, not a bad move down to 5, but I just tried this again versus 530, but there's not enough volume. It's nothing really going on. For GMVD, tried this one again as well. I'll get to that in a sec, but the initial breakdown worked through 3 down to 260, 250. Tried the long there ahead of that initial break of day highs. Looks like it's failing again. Flip that short versus that day high as price action was really heavy on the tape during that move back to the downside. So we'll see what happens with Big Bear AI coming back into play. This one might be a good one to watch tomorrow. HSCS. 250 on the daily chart, 250 up to 3 is a huge level. So I was sitting here all day kind of waiting for this thing to fail. It still hasn't, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe 250 to 3 if you missed the move higher initially. Wasn't much to do on HSCS, guys.
HSCS, you're right, that's right. Yeah, it was that crazy name. Thanks, Brendo, for that one.
We got a super chat
bringing
for
that
that
back to us. Yeah, we did get a super chat for that. Oh, new member alert. What's up, Sally? Thank you so much, Sally, for becoming a member. If you did have any questions, you post them in the chat here, and we'll do our best to get to them. And thank you, Bears vs. Bulls, as a moderator as well. We'll try to pass us along any of those if we miss said chat. So thank you so much for that. And just in case you guys were wondering, yeah, we got some out at 52 there. You know, I had that 40 bid. It's just the market tried to rally, or at least it is trying to rally right now, getting back up to that 50 period here. So again, Sally, if you're watching for the first time, I use a 50 period moving average on a 1 minute chart for the NASDAQ to try to judge you know, almost if I want to be short or not. And it's like, as long as we stay underneath this, plus coinciding with some key levels, which happens to be 12,000, dead on the NASDAQ, then I want to remain short. So we're going to stay short right now. We're short, as you guys can see. Amazon, 50 cents in the money. Apple, 20 amazing, or sorry, Meta 20 cents, not Apple. And then Nvidia, which was $1.20 and now making its move back up. So I'm just gonna respect this. If it takes this out, 193, like 15 or so, we're gone. We don't, like I said, like, we've already made the money on this trade. Obviously, we were waiting for a lot lower, and we should have taken 192. And the thing about this 192 is it came right back. We're already into some key levels, and if you go back, there's 193 bottom, and then just back into here, there's that 192 where we closed on the 25th. So probably should have, I mean, that's really 193, but you can't, it didn't break. Like that bottom's 192.40. So that bottom's 192.40. Zoom into today, that bottom's 192. I mean, where we kind of barcoded there, 192.40, 192.50. So back into there, a little bit of a worry spot for me on NVIDIA. So I think if we can get that, we should get that. So let's put that trade on down here, 192.40, and then we'll just take $1. And hey, if it continues to go down, now that I look at that, thanks to Dan Emmons there in the chat as well. He's been a big contributor to us, and thanks to Brendan, because it's $1 billion to sell on the mock. So we'll wait to see. It's not 1 billion shares. It's notional on $1 billion level. So we'll see where that goes for now, but we're holding on to 3 shorts.
I mean, 1 billion shares would be, well, the thing is, it would be like, obviously that wouldn't mean anything. If 1 billion shares, stock, you'd have to know what stock it is. That's the other side of that coin. I see people talking about Lucid here a little bit. It's not really doing much of anything. I saw someone saying it could be like a late day or like an aftermarket move. I don't disagree with that. It feels like if it doesn't hold 12, I mean, there's 10, and then if it breaks above 12, you've got $2 in either direction on that stock. Maybe give it one more chance tomorrow to do something. Outside of that, maybe the magic that it had on Friday is pretty much gone. I'm still in Alphabet. It still wants to hold the bottom end of the range. Now, like I said, the imbalances might not matter too much. However, this is at least still holding up, you know, lower highs all the way through. If it can't hold 97.25, then we'll just get out of it. I'm short at 97. Intel's a similar story, but Tesla just showed a little bit too much strength there, and it's we're close to 340. You got to pick and choose what you want to hold going into the day, and I just sort of felt that Tesla, when it makes those bounces off the even dollars late, sometimes it goes to full buck. I didn't want to give it a full dollar, whereas I know it's unlikely Intel is going to do anything crazy past 28 even on me here, so I can get short again. I can hold this. Hopefully it trends further to the downside. Just a couple of shorts late in the day, one here in the afternoon, and then one that we had at lunch. And if we break down in the market, well, at least we have something to the south side here. But thank you for the super chat there, Adrian, with the $5 super chat, just because you want to. No message. Thank you very much. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Make sure you come back tomorrow. It is going to be wild. We have so many earnings to get to. I know there's not a lot after the market, but tomorrow morning you're going to get some big ones. And then, of course, I mean, Wednesday is the big day. That's the big day. You get a bunch of big earnings coming through, and we get the Fed. So how many times can you say all the biggest names, not all the biggest names, but some of the biggest names in the market are going to be reporting, and we're going to get a Fed rate decision. It'll be a quarter point. It's almost certainly a quarter point. I'm not supposed to speak in certainties. I've said that time and time again, but it's going to be a quarter point.
Yeah, I think it's literally 99%.
Yeah, I mean,
something like that. So
exactly.
I'm pretty sure you can speak in as much certainties as you want there, but you're right. As a trader, anything could happen.
It's not Fahad at the free throw line, but it's, you know.
Yeah, that would only be 92.5%.
He said 93.5.
Oh, was it 93.5? Okay, I mean, we'll talk about that after.
Greatest shooter of all time.
All right, we are putting together like a charity team here. So I'm gonna be able to watch Fahad play live come March 5th, and that should be a lot of fun as we sponsor an inner city team and then submit our own as well. So that should be a lot of fun for that. You're not gonna be able to attend that.
Fahad's excited. So I can't specifically because it's on the weekend, and that weekend my wife is away, so I'll be looking after my daughter. My parents aren't in town. I would love to play in it. Not that I'm that great, but Fahad is psyched. And he keeps talking. He talks. So you guys know he talks a lot of trash. Fahad on our production crew.
What?
He talks a lot of smack.
Oh, okay.
However, we've seen. Like,
Fahad.
We've seen clips of him playing ball. Like he's got game. I suspect this tournament can get pretty competitive.
So I mean, I saw him dunk or play against like a 5'6", 100-pound Lucas. So I don't know. I'd like to see him. How tall is he? 5'7"?
He's taller than 5. He's 6. Lucas is taller than I was. He's like 5'11", 6 feet. He's not that. He's not short.
Okay. So let's just see. I trust Fahad.
He does weigh 125 pounds.
I trust Fahad. I trust Fahad. And Fahad was bullying. We can show the clip. I mean, if Fahad has it, we can call it up, and you guys can make your own opinion. I mean, of that. But it's gonna be a lot of fun, anyways.
He also passes like LeBron. That's what Fahad says.
Yes, he
of
does,
himself.
Of does he cry like LeBron too, or no? He just passes like LeBron. Oh, just passes like him. Okay, good on that one there. Okay, so look, just an update on Nvidia here. If it comes out right now, I'm going to get out at this tick. So 90 break higher, we're out. Sometimes when that imbalance comes out as a big sell, it goes the opposite way. So I've said I don't want to get caught in this. So I'm not going to. We're going to take the profit on it. That's that. We're going to be out of Nvidia, 3 more cents higher, and we will punch out of this. So here it goes. There it is. Now we're out. We'll end the awesome trade. Honestly, it was a good trade for me. We'll get it out. You know, we give up 70 cents from the very bottom, but to me, well worth holding on to that one. Meta, we already have the out breaking higher, but we've done well on this short. That last bid we talked about that as we took it with you, 52s. We're not short great, man. We're only short at 70, so we're out of the money now. We're going to give it back to 48. If it breaks 48, then we can get out of that one. Amazon's not really moving around. We only have 8 minutes now until these imbalances come out, so I don't think I'll be getting into anything else. Oh, wait a minute. What is SoFi doing? we should have gone long off that there, 60. There was that big 60 buyer, you guys remember, and it's right into here, so these stacked bids right there.
Stacks.
I was waiting for it to break, so now that it didn't, I guess I could cancel that offer. We did want to go short there. Instead, the trade should have been long in front, and then if it breaks, double reverse into the short. So that should have been the trade there, but we didn't do it. We'll remember that. Just thought SoFi was getting a little too excited there to the downside, and it wanted to break. But it didn't, so all good on that one as SoFi holding out. So, yeah, you know, this is what we're doing.
It held that bid?
Yeah, it held. Did you get out?
Yeah, I got out.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It held the bid, and now it's going to look foolish getting out. But
that's annoying.
Oh, well.
I didn't have much left. It couldn't get past VWAP to stock, so it was pretty weak. I mean, the second I got out there at the bottom, but I didn't really have that much left. This could be good tomorrow, man. There's nothing wrong with the move that SoFi made today. The other thing pointing out, let's go to the daily chart. That's the 200-period moving average. That's where the breakout was this morning. That's 6.25. The 200-period, that's 6.25 on the dip buy. So above that price, higher lows, 650. Yeah, this could be engaged tomorrow, but you know, you could be gapping down past that. I have no idea. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I'm definitely going to be back to the well on this as it's 340. You know what? I don't need to reload this at 342 actually. So I don't need to reload Intel, but I do need to start thinking about where I'm going to get out. And the same thing with Alphabet. Like, you're not really getting that push into the low of the day. Actually, I've gotten a little bit more aggressive on some of my bids. Before, I was looking for said low of the day. Now I just want to make sure I have my stop in. If it gets to VWAP on the imbalances coming out, I will just automatically punch out. And we'll see if we can't float into the bottom. Still, the update looks like it'll be, the early look was $1 billion to sell. We have 7 minutes to find out what that actually is going to be. And Grant in the chat saying AMC, more power to you. If that's still above, it is above $5.
AMC
Good for this.
finally?
Yeah, it's back above $5. This has broken 5, and I was like, oh man, if this is gonna hold beneath $5, you're in a world of hurt here because you could test back towards some of those lows. I'm missing some data on my AMC chart down there, interestingly enough. But the one thing that I didn't figure out this morning, maybe you guys can help me with this. What was the reason specifically? Because I know like that ape thing, that's not happening for a few weeks, so why was ape gapping up specifically this morning? I never really got a clear answer as to that, but if you're looking for something that's stronger, well, ape was stronger than AMC here today. So, you know, dollar for dollar, probably trading after the open, both of them were probably the same, but yeah, up 20% on ape. Still not sure specifically why that was today, though.
Yeah, go figure. All right, so here we go. We'll just try Meta. I mean, Meta's coming in here. We do have the 200 period, so we'll just try another short. This is the bet. Like this is what we're talking about because now we don't have that much risk on. Well, we have risk on, but we're at a good level where we can just punch out if we're wrong. 148. So we did get out of NVIDIA there as it's kind of just dancing around a little bit. The thing about NVIDIA is, look at this. We got out and then it just went right back down 50 more cents and then climbed right back to the upside again. So I'm thinking this is a short no matter what. I mean, I just wish we weren't this close to the very end of the day for NVIDIA because I would be shorting more now into that 193. The thing is, like, I just don't need, here's what the imbalance looks like if you're joining us for the first time. Hopefully this will come out, well, not hopefully, it will come out in 5 minutes and we'll see where it's going. But I just don't need NVIDIA to come here as a bid and then blast to the upside. So that's really, you know, where the risk lies with me on taking NVIDIA right now. You know, I'm only taking Meta because, again, if we get a little bit of a bump off this 12,000, I think we can get back like, you know, into the 60s or 70s, which would be good. We're short at 80, so anything like that will work for me there to the upside or to the downside on this. So let's put some bids, you know, low 70s. If we can get them, great. We'll put something else even. We'll use a different gateway so we don't have too many gateways out. We don't want to, like, you know, trick the algos here. See if we can get back down into, now it's going back up to the upside. So, hey, if this takes out 148, we're gone. So it might not matter where our bids are right now as it's getting strong. So that's fine.
Yeah, we'll
like I said, man, if we're going to bounce off this, that's why we got out. We got out of NVIDIA. We actually got out of Meta. We'll lose on this last piece, but the fact that we lost early, but then we shorted there at 74.5, and then our average price was 70 because we have a few fills there. And then our best outs are 50. So we only take 20 or 30 cents there. So it's not like it's a great trade, but Meta looks like it wants to break out through 148 right now. And I was going to say be damned with the imbalances, but they're still 4 minutes away as this market's still trying to go back up to the upside.
Yeah, it's bouncing pretty nicely here. You're back at 12,000. I don't want to say above because you're teetering like a point or so or handle or so above and below, but I have my stop in on Alphabet. I'm kind of looking to see if we can hold it into said close. This there's a nice mover here. SOUN, another AI name late in the day push. It just broke $2. This one from Brendan just now. It's going to pull back. This already made a move last week. So if you're looking at it, when in doubt, zoom out. Late day break of $2 when you've already seen several sort of sympathy plays in the AI space, and it just failed at 240 on Friday. Probably a limited amount that it can go, and then look at the volume. You guys can see, like, not a huge volume spike. It's a decent one, maybe not enough to carry it any higher. When I see that, probably too late in the day for a fade trade, but not sure how far it can go, and the volume already starting to dry up there. But if you're watching SOUN, it is starting to make already starting to make a move back into the downside. Okay, Google's starting to roll over here. This could be not roll over, but starting to slow down.
Same as Meta.
Starting to slow down here. Man, just get back beneath 27. I've got exactly 97. I have exactly 97 to the short side, and it's sitting here at 10s. But if this market gets back to the low, I just feel like we should be seeing the low of the day. This is the name I've chosen, so I'll be in it for the next at least 3 minutes as the imbalances are coming. Brendan.
Not much of a reaction to this, but a lot of people looking at this one. 130 plus million shares on Hellbiz today, down 13%. We did go green, which is amazing at the open there. But the CEO just tweeting they will not dilute their float tomorrow, saying they have enough cash right now for the company's burn rate. So just saying, everyone relax, trust the process.
process. What is this guy, Joel Embiid or
I was
something?
going to say, but does Brendan even know the reference?
No,
for
he
that?
does not know that reference, but that's okay. Thanks, Brendan, for that news. And we're going to go like this, man, bang, because exactly as we thought would happen, happened here. And again, we weren't overly confident that it was going to happen, but there it is, man. And I don't have the thing, but we're reloaded as Meta can get into the gates of hell and print us even lower. We just got a 50 print. So just like you guys were saying before, or just like I was saying before, here it comes back in Meta. So that's a great short. Now I don't feel so bad about anything that we did on Meta because we're making money now, boys and girls, on this move down with only a few minutes left here for Meta and for this imbalance. Nice trade. This is a good one. Let's go, Meta. Into the 40s. This didn't move. Yes, Meta. This didn't move this fast when we were in this last time. Meta straight to the bottom right now. This is a good one. Here we go, man. Yeah, you're right. I'm Italian there. Here we go. The GOAT traders are here. I don't know about that, but we are trading right now and pretty aggressively into this. So let's go, man. We're pretty happy again with the way this is traded out for me today here. As there goes Meta back down in. Yes. So we did get out of our NVIDIA, but that's okay. Looks like we might be at the high of the day after all as we get ready to close this. With only a minute now, these are the imbalances. Maybe Meta's coming as a sell, man, because that just got real low. And yes, sir, 50 cents of the money on Amazon, 50 cents now on the money on Meta, and moving lower. Let's go, Meta. No more bids for you until 147.
Oh, I was almost said you said like 47. Like it's 349.
Yeah,
We're almost
here
at
we
the amount.
go.
I just got my first bid, but I don't want to get any more as we are now tight to that 350 area. I actually have to adjust my trailing stop here because I just got a fill on Alphabet. So I'm just going to quickly do that right now for you guys. I like to trade with a trailing stop here. If it comes out a buy, I want to be out in front of resistance, and then I want to see if I can't hold for said low of the day. Imbalances might matter. We'll see. Intel's already in there. Tesla's back to low of the day as well. So I guess I could have held on to Tesla and that would have been absolutely fine. But the prep is in. Now it's just a matter of how these are going to play out. I'm going to have these loaded up for you. You'll see kind of like the morning stuff, which doesn't really matter. And then in 1 second, we will get the imbalances, which, okay.
What are they?
Hellbiz, who cares about Hellbiz?
Yeah.
I'm seeing nothing over $1 million. Apple, 800,000 to sell. There's a NASDAQ one, 900,000 now. Nothing. Amazon, Amazon's there for 600,000 to sell. I mean, it's sell side, but that's not very big.
No, I don't see much. We'll, darn it, man. We were getting close to getting out of our Meta there. We'll have to take a 55 bid there as it's, like we said, it's not great to be in these names while these imbalances come out. So we know that, and that is completely fine. Again, once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. As you can hear, I've lost my voice again. So we'll see if it comes back down right now. I still have a bid down here. I was waiting at 15s. So it went as low as 22, and then we had to buy a piece back. We only have now, well, okay, so before the imbalance, we now have a third left because we just got another piece out. So hopefully this will work down to the bottom side right now. Amazon was a sell, I thought I saw on there. I don't see it anymore, I don't think. Cisco, Bueller. No, so Bueller. Amazon, yeah, that sucks, Am, because look, at both of these, I guess it, what did Brendan say there? So it still came out as 2.4 billion to sell. Could have fooled me, as both my names went back up to the upside right now, including Amazon. Amazon was right down here again at 60, so I'm going to put a bid around 65 again. Maybe it drops down. That'll be great. Here comes Meta. Here comes Santa Claus right down Meta's road. Hopefully we will have a nice little gift coming through here. Maybe you can send me another Oculus. I already have one, need one for the other kid. We'll see if this comes back down in here. 147.15 is where we're bidding for Meta.
You don't need one for each kid. I have no idea. They probably do hog it, those Oculus. I'm telling you, man.
Then you can play games together.
You know, one challenge that we should do, and we got to figure this one out, because you know that the walk the plank thing? It'd be interesting to put some people who are overconfident in this. I'm not going to name any names here.
I can just bring in my Oculus.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's certain people who might talk a lot of trash who might not be able to walk that plank. I'm not naming any names.
Oh, okay.
I would love to try it out.
The winner of the one-chip challenge? Fahad?
Did I say Fahad? I didn't say Fahad. I meant Fahad.
I'll say Fahad.
No, of course. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
I can't do that.
The thing when you walk the plank and you put,
I've
heard lots of people can't. I'm not terribly afraid of heights, but I mean, I would never do the edge walk. I wouldn't do the edge walk at CN Tower because that would scare the crap out of me.
That's different.
So I feel like I might have some trouble with this, with it. But I think it would be a heck of a lot of fun, and you know, we'll see. Back to trading here. 28 didn't
Bye-bye,
run my
Meta.
stop, thankfully, on Intel. But as it comes to the downside, I'm just going to get some shares out here as, yeah, Google's starting to come back, but not a huge move. I should have shorted that spike. When we spiked on that sell imbalance, probably should have added to it. I elected not to. Ends up being a somewhat bad decision because you could add a little bit more, but we are starting to head back into the downside. Alphabet, I got one fill, looking for a little bit more there. And wow, Tesla's now at 167. Oh, this is my regret. Like, go back to what was your best short all afternoon and hang on to it. So instead of going over to Alphabet, I should have just hung on to Tesla. That Tesla down at 167. Ignore this wick. It never printed 162. That's utter nonsense. But a bad day for Tesla, down 6% and still falling. But you know what? That's not even close to where this thing was at the open on Friday. Like $5 away from where it was at the open. That's how strong Tesla was on Friday. Not so much today, but hey, what goes up must come down. Well,
yeah, exactly. I just tweeted. I'm going to try to do a better job of tweeting also. We just tweeted this out right now on Amazon and asked how everybody's day was. Not a bad, and first of all, Meta is right where we said, 147.15. Cha-ching. We'll ring the register on that one as well. But there's Amazon. Not a bad end of day fill right there. We just got a 54.55 off of those shorts. So yeah, man, we're still here. We're still kicking it. And then there's Meta. Look at this Meta absolutely collapsing. Nice downside move here for Meta. I don't know. We got that fill at 25, so we didn't get a 15 fill. I put a little earlier there. So right now we're at 15, and it's 3:55. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know we enjoy putting it on for you. Hit the subscribe button and the like button ASAP right now, and not ASAP Rocky, but if you could do it right away, that would be great. Look at Meta. I mean, I just gave this. Like, we do the stink face at this trade. 147.80, 147.90. Tried to get us out. Nah, pa on that one, all the way to the downside right here as we continue to move down 147 flat. Wow, Meta, that's honestly smoking right now as that one goes down to the downside. Thank you for watching, and the big day just continues as there goes Meta, another dollar winner here, and just too bad we didn't hold on to NVIDIA, but Meta's really bleeding here into the close. For possible names of bleeding and whatnot tomorrow, let's go over to Brendan and review who's going to report bad earnings, who's going to report a good earning. We saw SoFi today lead the way, and the S&P earnings so far has been actually great. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Brendan, what you got?
Yeah, absolute monster, not only tomorrow, but monster week ahead, guys. As Sean was mentioning, as always, smash a like and make sure you subscribe if you have not done so. Join us every day this week. We're here early again on Wednesday for the Fed as well, so we'll be back 1:45 ahead of the Fed announcement coming up at 2. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit subscribe before you head out this afternoon. Here we go. That's what's coming up tonight after the close and before the open tomorrow.
Whatever.
Look, the ones, forget about after the market. Well,
forget about it.
Look, if you own one of those stocks, I don't know any of them, quite frankly. Maybe there's something on, at Whirlpool, I know who they are. But Exxon.
You don't mean J&J Snack Foods? You don't own that?
This is about where the market's heading in relative strength and weakness, because you get McDonald's, you get something from each of the sectors, right? You get McDonald's, UPS can be a great bellwether. Pfizer's been getting its butt kicked lately. Could be a dip by opportunity, I hate to say it. Caterpillar, I love you. You need to hold up. I just got out some recently. And GM looked terrible today. Exxon is at a huge level, and they didn't love. Like, Chevron did everything. Like, I don't know what was wrong with the quarter, gigantic buyback, and the market was like, we don't care, it's coming back down. So I'm worried about what's going to happen with Exxon. I own Chevron, not Exxon, and Exxon just rejected ExxonMobil just rejected a monster level. I was going to look at Netflix going into the close here because 350 is close, but Exxon just rejected the granddaddy of resistance levels at 115. So if this one's headed southbound on bad print, or maybe they just sell off on a good quarter, which is probably exactly what they're going to do, is sell off on a good quarter, that 115 comes right back into resistance for XOM. That's one I'm certain to be looking at. The rest of those names may not be day trades. I think we understand that. I'm still in some Alphabet here. Let me zoom in here. Just can't seem to break 96.80, and we're running out of time, so I might just have to get out of this. I did reload one time above 97, but not really much of a flush here. So Alphabet finding support somehow at the low of the day while the market flushes.
Yeah, so I own 4 names on that list. It's now, we just got out of Meta. So Meta just came out right there, I think last minute right there at 147.10. I just didn't want to wait for that flush. I mean, we already got the flush, so Remember we were looking at it and we were like, man, Meta needs to get back down here because like everything else is breaking, and there it is. So, you know, crystal ball, 8 ball, be damned. We don't need that when we got our eyes. So that was a good trade there in these hands. So that was a good one. Now I just got to go pick up that ice cream on the way home and watch out for any of these closing prints. That might be anything here, giving us, you know, maybe pause for concern for tomorrow, but there's really nothing left over here. Sometimes if like Apple has like a couple million shares left or there's something big, obviously General Motors is one of those names that I own. We'll see if that can hang around there right now as, yeah, nasty move into the close there. As GM had shortable, right? So right there, sell. Here's 350 right here. So you could have made 25 cents if you just followed that imbalance down to the downside. We can see what Snap's doing other way. So see, sometimes it's not, you know, it's not rocket science when this comes through. You're just gonna have to watch the stock and then try to figure it out. Actually, it is rocket science. It doesn't, these don't give you necessarily the way it's gonna go. But there goes GM, General Motors to the downside. And it's 358, so it was another good day for us. Let's just check back in on NVIDIA, the name that I'll never forget today. Well, I'll forget it tomorrow. But today was a great day. Like we got out there at 192.90 there. Now it's all the way to 191.50. We should have held that all day. There's the short 198, but whatever. I'm not mad at getting out. I mean, that reload is great. It's more like right here. We had Meta long, remember? And we were like, maybe it's not going to work. But there it is right there, NVIDIA. Like, I've never made, you know, so much money on a name, I guess, and been disappointed, but that's the life of a day trader. You always feel like you could do better. I mean, that's the one thing. It's like...
Because you judge...
I don't know. It's not...
You should judge the decisions, right? So if every decision was a good decision, I kind of say that
I'm
it was
happy with
okay.
the decision, but not happy with the end result of it. So
well, it's like you get a hand, and you know you got a guy beat in poker, but at the end of the day, you leave some... You could have built a bigger pot. But if you look back at the way it played out, and it's like, well, it was okay.
Yeah, you would have never done anything different.
Yeah. Oh, wait, shoot. The bell is going to be dropped in 15 seconds. And I see in the chat, I think it was Mike or somebody saying we should change the bull, the bear to a bull at the end of the day because January's been strong.
Wow, this is not heavy enough.
The market's flushing. It's 2% down. That's why it's a bear.
No,
Go for it.
No, but it's too late. 5-4.
In 3, 2, and...
I nailed it higher there. You know, I should have thrown this globby at it. Like,
well, maybe we shouldn't throw anything at the bell.
I airmailed it because I thought it was...
Well, I mean, it's
so light.
Like it's a stuffed animal. It's probably not going to ring the bell over there.
That was that. That went like 5 feet too high there. I felt like Fahad at the free throw line there. But okay,
Banks
at least now I know what it's like. All right, let's go, Brendan. I don't know how we finished up there, but no bell to be rung. That's an epic fail on our part. We'll get that fixed tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the last of the prints to come through here, guys. Pretty red day right across the board. I'll give you this look first, just as an official or unofficial, as they say. Basically 1 to 2% across the board when all is said and done here. It is the NASDAQ that ends the session at session lows, 1.99, 1.19 for the S&P, 0.72 there. Yeah, it got ugly down here at the end of the day as well. 2.3 there for crude, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, also pretty ugly.
Yeah, shout out to Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister himself, pointing out how weak Bitcoin was here today. So, hey, you know, maybe he's got something in an offshore, whatever.
Who knows what he has? He's probably freezing everyone's bank accounts. But
he's probably got a little something stashed away.
Probably, yeah. Let's hope, the Canadian dollar is backed by Bitcoin. You didn't know that? So, all right. Good day, man. Good day. Great day. And we're so excited for tomorrow. And I just want to say, if you're not part of our chat, if you're always looking about, like, what is Neil, like, what are Neil and Sean looking at? Most of the time, sure, we're looking at scans and we have different things going on, but we do pay attention to the chat. A lot of funny stuff going on there. And if you're not a member, or sorry, a subscriber to the show, it's a subscriber-only chat as far as I know. So, be a member and subscribe today as we approach. I just changed the banner on my Twitter to 375K.
375.
It was 350. I like to get that up to 400.
I want 400 or 500.
I mean, I think we can get it by the end of next month. We can get 400 and then 5. I put 500 by June, the middle of the year. I think 500, and then maybe we can get going to 1 million after that, obviously, and we'll see what happens. But hit the subscribe, hit the like. Another bang-up show, man, for us. We already went to Brendan, yes or no?
Yes,
we did, of course. We didn't go for earnings, but we already talked about earnings earlier on, so thanks for that. And so far, so good. I don't know, anything else to say? I don't know. We're waiting for earnings now.
Yo,
but there's
dude,
nothing.
Are you serious? He just throws the bear back at me. I'm like, I just see it flying in. Come on, Rob.
I'm debating trying it again right now. You want to try it?
Go for it.
Okay,
Just give
put
it
on the
another
camera
shot. Give it another shot. Go for it.
Okay. See. Oh! Come on. Oh! I think it hit it.
The problem, it was so close. I don't know if you guys could see how close that was. It was literally like less than an inch.
Did you get it on?
Like
did
a
you get
centimeter.
It? Okay, he got it. They
Centimeter.
could all see. All right, let's go, man. That bell's. It's only like 15 feet away.
That was a good shot,
Yeah, that's too bad. All right, third time lucky. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm not going to waste everyone's time. Stay tuned for the trade of the day. It's up next. You should get pushed forward to it. No. Will you? Yeah, you should.
It should.
And if not, check it out. More Trader TV Live. We have another page that we put some educational stuff on. Our Trader TV Live page, we'll put the live stuff, and then our More Trader TV Live will have educational stuff and some fun stuff. We're actually debating. We're talking about this today, going back and forth, putting a runes update for the futures on somewhere. So stay tuned for that, as that should get going soon. Mark is working on something, Brendan. We all know. The problem is that we talked about this. Twitter has only a certain
length of video,
size of video that you could throw out there. So we're going to figure that all out. All right, Brendan, any last words here?
Not much, guys. There's no earnings coming out at all at this point. So we're going to have to wait for the morning. But 2 or 3 days in a row here of big earnings to come.
All right, yeah, eat your Wheaties and banana and everything. Get ready to rock and roll. Don't have any spicy chips.
Get that girl her ice cream, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know. Probably has more requests now, so we'll see what's going on. But all right, thank you so much, guys, for watching again. And join us tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you from Luca, from the professor as well. Thanks from Fahad, who ran the board by himself today. Thank you so much, Fahad, for that. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls. And everybody that's helping make Trader TV what it has become today. So without any further ado, we're all Trader TV Live. Join us back tomorrow at 8:30 when we do this all over again. Ciao, guys.